that old man got the tractor beam out of commission, or this is going to be a real short trip. Okay, hit it!
Hey everybody, welcome to Group Therapy, a show for Star Wars collectors. We get together every other Friday night live on YouTube and try to talk each other into spending a small fortune on hot toys, statues, helmets, and prop replicas. If they're expensive, we need a complete set. I'm your host, Steve, and tonight I am joined by CC. How's it going, CC?
Good, not bad. How about you?
Well, that was a
I know.
convincing smile. That
Yeah,
was
sorry.
such a convincing smile, CC. Oh my gosh.
I've been sick for 2 days, so I'm hanging in there.
Yeah, you're a trooper. Still coming on. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good to see you. And looking forward to talking about that goodie behind you in a few minutes. And Rob, how you doing, Rob?
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm still waking up. I just rolled out of bed, so I'll become more animated as I wake up.
Okay. All right. Very good.
How are you anyway, Steve? You sound a little bit hoarse.
Do I sound hoarse? Yeah, I've
Yeah.
been dealing with some sort of cold/allergies thing for the last 5 days. I'm not sure which one it is. Lots of congestion and cold symptoms with allergy symptoms. So I don't know what the hell it is, but trying to get by. And I just have that a little bit more sexy of a voice tonight. Sexier than normal, I guess. Yeah. And Jason's trying to join us. Jason's just learning how to use StreamYard after the last 70 or so shows we've used it. And he can't quite figure it out. So he'll get here soon. Let's see. He's sent another comment, or let's see. No. All right. And Matt's going to be joining us in a little bit. He's just got home a little bit late from work tonight, so he's taking care of the family. But he should be joining us. And Chris will not be joining us tonight. I'm not sure what he's up to, but he's not going to be joining us, so should be good. We might have a special guest on tonight. I have to ask Jason as soon as he gets on. All right. So both of you have some interesting new items in your backgrounds that we need to dig into here. So first, I think we'll start with Cece. Cece, what is that character behind you over your right shoulder?
Yeah, had I known we were gonna actually take a look at it, I would have turned more lights on. I just didn't feel like doing that because I'm still hanging in there. But this is the concept Kylo Ren.
Nice.
Of course, it looks good. I forget who did the cast. I think it was Inception Studios.
Yeah, I think so. Uh-huh.
And it was painted by John Simmons.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So did you convince him to paint it, or did he do it out on his own and then he sold it? How'd that go?
I bought it like this from Martin Morris on the Hyperdrive.
Okay. So you bought it secondhand. All right, very cool.
Yeah, I bought it like right before Celebration, and because Martin was there as well, so that was nice because I had a chance to meet him in person. Knowing that we're both going to Celebration, he waited till after I got back to ship it. So,
can you do side profile? Can you hold it sideways? There you go. Oh, isn't that interesting? Okay.
And like it's got a lot of there you can kind of see the purples too. It has almost like a purple tinge to it.
And
like lots of, but it has the kind of weathering where it's like negative. So like it looks those splotches of silver, like that one right there is flashing on the cheek area. Like those are like what's underneath all of the paint.
Oh, so they did like a subtractive sort of thing, right? Where they remove paint to get to that. I like that type of weathering so much more than the additive type of weathering.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very cool. It almost looks like his cheek is kind of like the flesh is worn away, like on a skull, you know?
Yeah, looks very
Right.
skull like. Yeah, I think that's what appealed to me, and the fact that it looks very Vader, and also the Greeblies in the front.
Yeah, yeah.
I know we shit on the sequels a lot, but I really like Kylo Ren's helmet design and what they ended up with, and then of course this. So I plan on putting it with more of my concept stuff.
How do you like Simmons' paint job overall?
I think that's what makes it. I don't know if I'd like it as much if it was just, like black and gray.
Mm-hmm.
The purple is also very unexpected, but I think that's what, because it's unexpected, I appreciate it the most because it looks really good, and I would not have picked it myself.
So I have a similar version by the same people, and it's been sitting in a box for a long time. I haven't gotten it painted by anybody or anything like that. Mine's a slush mold or whatever. Cast, excuse me. Does that show through when you're looking at it? Can you see the inside of the dome when you're looking at it?
Well, the inside of the dome is rough. It's not smooth, but
right.
I've seen
Is it visible when you're looking at it straight on, or?
I mean, well, yeah, because you could see the sides when you're looking at it straight on. But that I've seen Vader's with the same kind of treatment on the domes, so to me it was kind of expected. Mm-hmm. It's also not the first notice when I look at it, but yeah, like under, you've got like that little bit of area where you could see straight to the like underneath of the. I've seen a lot of Vaders that aren't finished like that either, and have like lineage and all that kind of stuff. So it doesn't bother me at all.
Okay. Oh, interesting. Yeah, very good. Well, that looks great, CC. Hey, Jason. I see you figured it out. It's only been
Dude.
70 episodes we've done on StreamYard, and you figured this out now?
Don't even try to bust my chops on it, because it's so frustrating that I have to like shut everything down, close all my tabs that I'm working with, or else StreamYard's just like, nope, sorry. I'm not a fan of StreamYard.
I don't know, man. Seems like you're the only one having the issue. Everybody else?
I'm definitely not the only one, but at least in this batch tonight. But yeah, I saw Sissy picked up that. I get the same one, Sissy. I know, Steve, you're not a fan of it. The Kylo Ren cast that you got in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not a fan of the slush cast version of it. If I'm looking like if I look at Vader straight on, it's rough in there, right? But you can't see it. Yeah. I can't see it when I look at it straight on, and that's what I was kind of curious if when the Kylo is painted, you can see the roughness or not. If you can't see it, I can live with it. But if you're gonna see it, I don't know.
Yeah, it hides really well when it's painted.
It's the curvature, isn't it? It's the curvature of the bottom of the helmet.
Yeah, sure.
You're not really looking at the flat area because it's moving away from you.
Right. So, do you have yours painted yet, Jason, or you just have the cast?
No, I painted it about maybe a little over a year ago.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I did it. I used the same image John did, that like side profile concept art image that's out there. But yeah, once it's painted, I think it's it helps quite a bit, because when you first get it in, it's a little like, but then once you get it covered, it definitely.
Well, and everything, especially when everything's dark, it's not like, I'm sure if it was a primer gray, I'd be like, Jesus, like, because that's quite rough on the inside. But when it's all painted a pretty dark color, makes it less noticeable, the texture.
Cece, are you planning on taking some like photos of it, and some decent photos, and that you can share or something at some point?
I'll try. Yeah.
It'd be nice to see, because right now my freaking cast is just sitting there in a box, and it's like, what do I do with this thing? Do I bother getting it taken care of, or do I just sell it to somebody? And it just strikes me as something that's going to be really hard to sell.
You should paint it. You should get it out and you should paint it.
I should paint it. Yeah.
And then if you don't like it, you could then sell it.
Yeah. Well.
But you may love it.
I'm pretty sure I won't like it if I paint it. That's almost a foregone conclusion. Very good. All right. So, Rob, okay, let's get it over with. What is that over your left shoulder? Or I don't know if we're reversed here. So this is my left. Yeah. You're right. Over your right shoulder.
Yeah, it's really delicate. I tell nobody to touch it.
Oh, God damn.
Something happens to it, we're gonna freak out and we're scream.
Oh, I'm big.
Wow.
That is sexy.
Man, that is looking good, dude.
So, Jason, did you get yours in yet?
I haven't unpacked it yet. I've had quite a busy week and a half, so I've yet
Oh,
to
my
go
God.
through some of my new arrivals.
What do you think of that, Steve?
I need to be alone for a minute.
So it looks amazing from most angles, but it kind of looks really weird from this angle.
It does look
I
weird.
think
Yeah.
it looks great. I think it looks great from all angles. I think it's a beautiful piece.
Weird.
Oh,
in a
it
good
is.
way.
Oh, it
Something
is.
about maybe.
It's amazing, but when you look at it like this,
Yeah.
you don't
the knee-
appreciate it. It kind of looks like this from
Yeah.
this angle.
Yeah, the knee being bent while the foot is at 90 degrees, that's a bit awkward. But still looks damn cool, man.
I really like the base too.
And that's not a comment on his work. That's just, I think, the way it showed up in the picture, right?
Oh
I
yeah,
think that
yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it. Amazing. You should
So
get one,
would-
Steve. You should really get
Yeah, I'm working on it. How are you going to display it?
one. I'm not sure yet. I'm working on that. I think some display area is coming back to me now. After
You
after
kicking a member of the family out or something?
a year or so. I think we're having a cabinet reshuffle and working things out.
All right.
So yeah, should have some news on that soon.
Yeah, very, very cool. Well, that's.
But it's amazing. Lee did an amazing job on it. Went down and met him as well, and that was good. Met him before, but it was so long ago, and I think it was on a busy evening, so it's difficult to spend some time with someone. But yeah, really good, really nice guy, and amazing piece. It's a grail piece for me. This.
Yeah, that sure is. That sure is special. Oh man, yeah, you got to figure out what you're going to display it with. That's going to be, I guess, the Bausch helmet, really, probably.
Yeah.
And you got a thermal detonator or anything like that?
I'm not going to say I've got a bad one, but I would like the signature MR one.
Okay. Yeah.
That would be my goal. I did buy one on eBay. I won the auction, and then the guy just cancelled it and didn't sell it. So.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, what's his name?
eBay rules.
Roman Props makes a great thermal detonator.
Yeah, I've got that, and it is good, but I really want the signature as well.
Yeah.
To go with it.
Actually, Paul's son contacted me the other day, asking about a good Obi-Wan Kenobi saber, and I sent them the way of Roman Props too, because I have Roman's Kenobi, and it's great. It's fantastic. Yeah, very cool. Well, how about you, Jason? Anything interesting going on with you?
Interesting? Nah.
No?
No, nothing interesting. No, just continuing to work.
You're playing coy here. What's that about?
There's always interesting stuff happening, but no, nothing specific. No, it's just been a busy couple of weeks. A really busy couple of weeks, but yeah, just have some random bits coming in that I've been waiting on for a while. I want to get around to unwrapping those. I don't know. I don't ever remember. There's always random things that are popping up and showing up. Working on some hilts. Trying to think. Just started on Roy from Wanawanga did the Luke Besman hand. You know, when he gets his hand cut off by Vader. He did that kit. Actually, he was nice enough to give me one of the first kits over at Celebration, so I had that to take home with me. So I
Nice.
pieced that up today and started tinkering with that, which so far has been a fun build. Yeah, just working on things like that, going through some of my parts, and yeah.
It was nice meeting him. I got to meet him at Celebration too. It was nice meeting him.
Yeah, he's an awesome guy. He's a tall guy. He's an awesome guy.
Yeah.
It's weird meeting all these guys, and it's just like whoa, I feel short.
Yeah. So let's see.
So I did get something else in as well, Steve.
Okay.
That I just want to mention. I've not got it here because it's quite fragile. It came in, and it's the NYC Empis Nest.
Ooh, nice.
Oh, okay. Well, that took a while to get there, huh?
I love that. I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The stance, the pose. It's a really nice piece. So we've had Simons in the studio for like, I don't know, 6 weeks, maybe 2 months, maybe more.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been absolutely itching to open it. So mine came in and I just opened it straight away. And the problem is now it's out of the box. So I need to put it back in the box to transport it. So it's kind of sat there at the moment.
Yeah.
But it looks so fragile. I thought I'd broken it a few times. When you put the head on, there's that one tooth that kind of wants to clash with the necklace.
The two hair,
and I took it off the head and then I put it back on, and then I thought, oh my God, I've snapped it. Anyway, I've not, but it's so fragile. I need to pack it away to transport it. What goes on with the things in the helmet now?
Yeah.
What about it?
Do they just pack down inside the helmet?
Yeah, the arrowed ones go from underneath, and the top two sticking from the top. It takes a second, but once you figure it out, it goes right in.
It's super hard, dude. I had such a hard time getting it to work. So
unless you have someone who's done it,
he has a hard time getting a lot of things to work.
With pictures. If you want, I could send you pictures of like mine, or Steve can, of like so long as you know the orientation, then it's easy. But if you're not looking at reference photos or anything like that, I could see how that's difficult.
Yeah, as long as like Cece said, just send you a picture, like the pointed blades going from the bottom underneath, and the bent ones going from the top, and then it holds together.
All right, okay. You don't just ram them both in from the back.
No,
well, that's what
most people try to do, and it doesn't work. Yeah.
Always.
Yeah, it's not working. It's not working for me. But yeah,
well,
really nice piece. Just wanted to give that a mention.
You did a great job on that.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks you guys getting that made, and thanks Michael as well for making it. It's really impressive. Beautiful. Really impressive.
Yeah, well, I'm very happy with it. Go ahead, Cece.
On the topic of Michael, I think my Boba Fett on Throne just shipped. So people have already started getting it in.
So that'll take probably 4 to 6 weeks to get there, right? Because it's gone. Are you doing it by sea?
Yeah, I'm doing it by boat, but it's funny you say that because Jeff Delaney, who's on his group Secret Sanctuary, he just paid for a statue from Prime One, which they also ship from China, and I have one coming as well. And he said that by the time he paid for the shipping, he got it, or any tracking. He's like, I'm going to get it in 17 days, and that's with economy boat shipping. So I don't know if I've seen people getting both at now, and I just assume that they live closer, but maybe the shipping's quite fast nowadays. I don't know.
I don't know. I've gotten like 15 NYC statues from that factory, and every one of them is taken forever. I usually forget about them, and then they suddenly show up. Hey, Matt.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How about you?
Doing good. A little bit tired, but doing good.
Yeah, been a long day.
How you doing?
Yeah.
Good evening, Matt.
I was up in LA. How are you, Rob?
Oh, not too bad. Not too bad.
Nice. Yeah, I was up in LA for a shoot today, and the traffic was stupid. Getting back, so
LA traffic? No,
LA, dude.
no
LA.
way.
It was
There's
LA,
traffic in
dude.
LA. Get out of town.
Yeah, it was cool. We were filming. We were filming this architect. Do you know Jason? Do you know Frank Gehry, the guy that did
Familiar, yeah.
he did the Disney. You know that weird Disney building that's the symphony or whatever building that's a Disney building or whatever. That's like
Yeah,
metal and it's like all twisty and metal. It's in I think it's in LA.
Yeah, the one that kind of it almost looks cartoonish, right?
Yeah, it's crazy. He did
Yeah.
that one. He's done a bunch of crazy ones. So we were interviewing him, but it was so funny. Just the people in LA are just they're so LA, dude. It's so bad. Yeah, it was really funny. So it was good. It was good. It was just a lot of traffic getting back.
So you're not ready to move there anytime soon. You're saying.
I can't stand LA. I think LA is a freaking cesspool. So
Yeah.
He wants to move to New York.
yeah, right.
Yeah, there's this song by a band called Tool. Yeah, I don't know if you ever heard it.
Yeah,
But he
of course.
sings about the ocean opening up and LA just
Yeah, oh
sinking
yeah.
into it's such a he like tears the shit out of LA. It's
LA is horrible.
freaking great song.
But people live there because they have to, you know, they don't have a choice. It's where everything happens there.
I guess, yeah. Huh. Well, it's good to have you on. Glad you were able to get back in time and and all that. It's great.
Yeah,
Great.
for sure.
Yeah, I was thinking of asking you to run the dumpster fire tonight, but yeah, I'm gonna have to. You're gonna be. These are gonna be your genuine reactions.
Oh yeah, I'm
tonight to the
excited.
dumpster
It'll be a
fire,
good one.
Yeah. So, Jason, I don't know. We're having the special guest on for the main segment, right?
Yep.
And I'm just about ready to transition into that. So if you want to fire it off, and as soon as you're ready, you can introduce him and the segment.
Yeah, so I think one of the things we're discussing tonight, which was just released a few days ago, is the video of the Imperial Shuttle, or the Tidarian Shuttle, by Merlin Models. And I think we have both Justin and Eaton joining. And
nice.
the reason why I asked him to join was it's one thing to give our insight and opinion and talk about something specific, but I think where they've been putting so much research and development into these projects and taking so much time between like pre-order and release and all the things that we've been seeing lately in the community as far as like studio scale offerings, I just thought it might be a little bit better rather than doing some hearsay and having it sort of like straight, from the horse's mouth, if you will. It's just easier, right? Because I didn't want to get to the point where initially I was like, hey, you guys have any bullet points you might want me to touch on? I was like, you know what? It might actually be better if you guys actually just come and join and discuss it a little bit, because I didn't want to potentially say something wrong or, go off in a direction where I was missing something important. And I think it's, I think it's a good thing for people to sort of get a better understanding of what it is they're doing and how and why they're doing it. So, yeah, I think they should be in the back, ready to join.
Got somebody coming on now. Here comes Ethan there.
Yeah.
Hey, Ethan.
What's up, guys?
Hey. Welcome back. Welcome back. It's good to have you on again.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here.
I love the Batman stuff in the back. Sorry, I could not. That was exciting. I didn't expect that.
Oh, the J&Ds? Yeah.
Yeah, that got my attention earlier.
I get a lot of help having Batman stuff, so yeah.
That's my out of Star Wars Holy Grail collection that I'm working on.
Nice.
Dude, that's I love that Zero Foxtrot shirt. They've got some great Star Wars ones, right? Yeah, so
yeah,
it's good to see them. The secret about Zero Foxtrot is getting out, I think. Yeah, and then Justin's joining us as well. Good to have you on, Justin.
Hey guys, yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, nice. Let's see we always like to scour people's backgrounds to see what sort of cool stuff is on there. I see
this
maybe
is the workshop.
a few printers in the background, huh?
Oh yeah, yeah. We got our EPAX. It's over here. So EPAX E3, or E10, and then we have the brand new X1 Carbon FDM printer.
killer.
Nice.
So,
and I spy a shelf above your head with all nice
yeah.
little goodies up there as well. Very cool.
Couple of our prototypes. Yeah.
Very, very cool. Well, welcome to the show.
Thanks.
All right.
Yeah, thank you guys for taking the time to jump on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Well, go ahead, Jay.
No,
go ahead.
Ask away, and we could talk about whatever you guys want to talk about.
Yeah. So I figured, as I mentioned before you guys jumped on real quick, that when I hit you up earlier today, that we were gonna chat about the shuttle tonight, and I just thought, rather than, obviously we can give our opinion after the fact, but rather than us doing a hearsay, you guys can kind of just give us a sort of the update in addition to the video that was shared, and just give us a little background about the how and why and whatnot.
Sure, absolutely. You can see the shuttle sitting back there, up this side. It took a very long time to get this one wrapped up. For some reason, we sent off the files in June of last year, and then we got samples back like last month, like end of last month. It was
a couple weeks ago.
It's been insane working with some of these vendors, but for the quality that they eventually do produce, it is worth it. So yeah, we're insanely excited just to be able to show off what actual casting samples look like and some of the features that are involved. So the basic sense of this is, full studio scale size model. We're using all metal machine gun barrels. They slip in really well. They're already sized perfectly. They're absolutely beautiful. And then we're including a lighting kit inside it as well, which includes that LED neon strip in the back that's shaped to match the studio scale version.
That is sweet.
Works pretty awesome.
That lighting strip is sweet. Is that rigid, or is that just folded into place?
It is on a acrylic back plate, and then the vendor that I found, they glued it into the shape, so it'll just come like pre-wrapped.
It's bright.
Ethan, nice. Those are LEDs in there? Or?
Yeah, it's an LED strip. So
dude, it looks like neon. For some reason, it looks like neon right there. It's crazy.
The technology has changed a little bit over the past few years with LEDs, and they've started doing these really, really fine, dense packages. So there could be 400 LEDs in like a 3-foot span, or 600 LEDs in a 3-foot span. It's to the point where using this technology here, the LEDs are actually side lighting the diffuser that looks like LED or that looks like neon, and it creates that 100% like smooth
sure
neon feel without
that's
you
really
having to see hot spots. So that's kind of like the way of the future for LEDs.
Are you guys making this so that you can, like, because it's LED, can you plug it into like a dimmer or something and actually control the brightness at all? Or you are okay?
Yes. Yep. Yeah. So right now we've got it plugged into an Arduino Nano, and that just sits inside the middle of the hull. And we have a program that will show you guys how to install once you get the box of the Nano or whatever, and it's very easy to wire up. And there's a couple of things that I'm also thinking about adding. Like, we did the RGB strip in the cockpit, because once you put the tinting on the glass, you can't really see the cool interior, and almost even nobody knows what the real interior looked like to begin with. So we were like, okay, let's throw some RGB LEDs in there and to set up just a random blink cycle so it looks like a control board. And that turned out really, really cool. So we're going to have that included as far as on the program. And then all you've got to do is just buy an RGB strip, and we'll show you which one to buy, because it's less expensive for you to get one from Amazon than it is for us to tell a vendor to cut 14 LEDs and make 100 of them.
Right.
So that's something that we wanted to add as an addition. But one other thing that I might be able to put into the kit that I was even just thinking about as I was sitting here is the blue LED. If you have it on the wall, can be a little bit overwhelming. So I'm wondering if I want to put a PWM dimmer on that's manual, or something, some way where you can just set that based upon your room, so that, based upon what your situation looks like, you can set it to like that perfect value and then just leave it. So it'll just go in the hull. You're like, okay, mess with it, put it in place. If you like it, twist it down. Then
and then every time you turn on, it's at that value, so you don't have to keep playing with it.
So there's a cover that goes over those rear LEDs, and you had mentioned in your video that you have the option of leaving it as is or filling in the seam.
Yes. So there's
and whatnot.
there's a clear cast diffused design, and we've seen this design on multiple other kits before. On the photographic reference of the real thing from the museum tours and stuff, they always had it open. So we didn't integrate it. It's just two pieces, and you could just decide whether or not you want to put a grill on there or not. You can see a little bit of the grill right there. So that's just two cast pieces.
Yeah, they're like these rib sections. They're just little pucks that just kind of slot in.
So I thought you were talking about the seam here.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think that seam there is a seam in the real thing. But if you're wanting to take the back off all the time, like we just have that back part just popped on. If I were to paint this, then I would probably fill that seam and make it like very faint. But that's just the design aspect of pressing. That's a friction fit, so there is a seam there. And then as a model maker, we would fill that for paint jobs, or if somebody wanted to mess with the LED a lot. Again, I don't know a reason why you would do it, but you could make it removable.
I was wondering if there's any light leakage through that seam. None.
Nope.
Okay,
no light leakage.
And we did it underlap, so that way you can't see anything. So
there's no light bleed at all.
Yeah, no light bleeds on any part of the model at all, which is really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very cool.
What are the Ethan? What are the dimensions on this one? I don't know if we talked about that yet.
I think when it's open, it's like 36 by 36, but with the pole, it's probably about 40 inches tall.
Yeah,
so it's about 36 inches wide, but then maybe about 40 inches tall with the pole. And then when it's closed, I'm thinking it's probably 16. If you faced it this way on the base, it'd be maybe 16. And then you're looking at maybe 22-ish, 23. Yeah. I think when we were looking at sizes for a display case for it, it was best used with a like 24 by 24 by 36 case, just because of the height and the depth. It sticks out so far. The length of the nose is probably, I think, 22 or 21. So that's really where it gets you. You can put it on almost any shelf because the base will sit on a 12-inch shelf.
Right.
The nose is going to stick out.
That's cool. I noticed the lights on the top, on the wings too, on the ends of the blinking. What are the lights on the tips of the wings here?
Yeah, on the dorsal fin and on the wings. Yeah, we've got that set up. So I watched the film like 10 or 15 times with a stopwatch to get the blink cycle.
Oh, cool.
So when you turn the base on, it does a 3 blink, which is how they started the sequence on the film, and then it just goes into a very slow. I think it's a 2 or 3 second.
That's killer.
Just nice soft blink.
Nice. Now, just to take advantage of you guys being here and getting the info out of it that we can. So we talked earlier. One of the things I discussed with this being a piece where the wings can open and close, it can rest in 2 positions. So let's say somebody decides with a large piece like this, let's say somebody decides to do like a floor mount, right? And they want to display it in the triangular section with the wings like this. One of the things I had mentioned were concerns about warping. And I know that you guys had spent a lot of time R&D in tackling that. Can you give us a little bit of breakdown on why that won't happen and why that shouldn't be expected?
Yeah, there's a lot of back and forth, and a lot of people have done it a lot of different ways. But our first attempt was to make a honeycomb structure on the inside and have 2 pieces to create a very light structure that then was created rigid by gluing the honeycombs together so that it wouldn't have any force or flex. However, the way that casting in polyurethane works is any parts that are thicker than the outer skin will force that outer skin to contract as it cures, and it'll force the wings to warp. And that will happen over time. So if it doesn't happen right out of the mold, it'll happen while it's on a boat or a plane with no air conditioning. It will want to rise on itself. So the only way to do it properly is to create a skeleton inside. So that's what we did. So it has a metal structure on the inside. You'll have hollow metal tubes that direct the 2 different LED paths exactly to the right spot where they're supposed to be. And then we put a rigid structure on the inside, and then extra support on the bend of the wing, because that's the joint that's going to want to bend. We put a bent piece of metal in there that's going to prevent that from bending. And that's one thing that I'm going to make sure like the vendors do not skimp on and there will be some very serious quality control, like checking up on to make sure that that is exactly the way that's supposed to be, because I do not want any of these to want to bend at all. And they're not very heavy. I mean, the whole thing put together is not incredibly light, but it's a lot lighter than you think it would be. Polyurethane is just a much better material. So that does help.
Yeah.
That was a great question, Jason. That was exactly what I was thinking when I'm looking at this, the large wings. I was really worried about those warpings. Thanks for asking about that.
Yeah. One of the standout things when the video dropped the other day, a couple of people were just sort of like reaching out and getting some feedback, and that was the one thing that I saw come up more often than not, where people were asking like what my thoughts were on that. And of course, knowing how you guys work and the amount of R&D that you put into things, I confidently had shared, that I didn't think there was going to be any issues whatsoever. But I do think it's good just to touch on that, where you guys have done all the work and tackle the QC elements. And then there was a few small things like we talked about earlier too, which is also good to probably bring up. Elements where people may see like, oh, this may be incorrect or that isn't. And I know both on the concept version, if anybody has like the Star Wars to Indiana Jones book, which has a nice clear image, and also in the Screen News version, some of the lines, some of the panel lines aren't actually indentations, but they're done in pencil. So I think that might be something else to tackle. I think there's one in right on the cockpit, right?
The main one is on the nose. So if you look at the competitor or the old one or any of the ones that were previously released, etc., you'll see that they scribed the cross line along the nose. You got your two indentations that go up the nose, and then there's a cross piece. That is a pencil mark. It's not an actual indentation in the plastic, but nobody's decided to make it a pencil mark, so we're going to make it a pencil mark because that's the way it's supposed to be. So
the lack of it here isn't necessarily an inaccuracy. It's
I just didn't draw it on with a pencil. And I thought about drawing it on with a pencil on the primer, and I was like, just so that people wouldn't ask, but the reality is it's a pencil mark, so you have to draw it on with a pencil and use it.
Yeah, it's going to get painted over, so we'll do it for the final version when we paint it. So
yeah.
Yeah,
but I think that's the only one. There might be a couple of other small ones, but most of those are going to be either streaks or weathering. That's not going to be necessarily a panel line, I would think, discrepancy. I think all the other panel lines are in there. It was very interesting working with some of the research guys and just talking about like the thicknesses of things and how they appear in the photos of the tours in the museums and stuff, and how the reality of how far inset they were and how thin they really were. Like the actual details on the wings and the dorsal fins, like I think I originally made, which I thought was generously thin, like 2 millimeters deep. And the reality is like a lot of them are like 0.5 millimeter deep, 1 millimeter deep. They're very fine details on the dorsal fin and on the wings, which is interesting. Mm-hmm. So it was a fun project to figure out the layering of things.
Yeah, it's a beautiful design, and this is really excited about this. When the video dropped, I gotta say it was more than what I was expecting. It exceeded expectations, and I think a lot of the people that I had been talking to about it were just as excited about it, and I felt that they were at the same level where they thought same that it exceeded expectations. So yeah, this is an exciting project, and I really appreciate you guys sharing and giving us some insight.
Yeah. Absolutely. Does anybody else have any questions about the shuttle, or I guess anything else that we're currently working on or whatever, as far as just Merlin Model stuff?
Actually, this was go ahead.
No, if you have something related to this, Steve, I don't want to cut you. Go ahead.
This was the first one. Is this the first one you put up for PO? I'm trying to remember because it was
the first one. The very first one that we put up for PO was the AT-AT.
Okay.
This would be the third. So the Blockade Runner was the second one, and then this is the third. So Blockade Runner is being cast as we speak. That was in the same batch to get samples of this guy. And they happened to just get that to us a little bit earlier, but earlier for them was 7 months late. So we got that in December.
Well, I'm getting all three. So
yeah. So now we have all of them. We've got the X-Wing, we've got the shuttle, we've got the Blockade Runner. We've gone through all the changes that we want to make. We have our lists. We've already gone back and forth with the X-Wing and the Blockade Runner, so they're on the schedule.
Yeah.
I think the Blockade Runner is actually being cast this month and next month. X-Wing will be in that time period as well, and then this one will start getting cast as soon as those ones wrap up, as far as in the schedule goes,
Ethan,
and then move on to ATSTs.
Ethan, question: Do you guys get people buying these things and just leaving them as is ever? Like,
I don't know. I mean, we're
people
still kind of new
or?
to it, so I'm looking forward to seeing more people like showing off the AT-ATs, because that's still like the first production piece that people have actually received in hand. I think this year will be a year where obviously a lot of people are going to get product, because we've done a lot of pre-work and now it's delivery time for everything. So this year we'll definitely see like who's just building it, who's just keeping it, who's not talking about it, who's painting them,
who's modding them too. I mean, that'd be great to see some people mod them. Like, that'd be cool to see.
We've painted 10 AT-ATs, and I've seen 2 after the fact. So a lot of people just are not, very public with their collections, I think, or it's just a certain period of time and things like that. So, I hope that we see a lot more of them.
Yeah, I only asked because I could also see getting these and just leaving them as is, and it's just a cool representation of the piece and how it was made. The accuracy of it and everything. They look cool just like they are as well.
Yeah, so. Just like primer gray. Yeah.
We've talked about that a few times. Of like, Matt, it's interesting you brought that up. Like doing pieces and leaving them as is, and I think John working on the Star Destroyer bridge. I mean, that's more to show the Greeblies, but other pieces, just like I have a smaller Y-wing that's just primed and it's not painted, and that's intentional. And it's like you said, so you can see all of the details, and you can really see a lot more when it's just one flat color. You see a lot of different things that stand out, whereas once it's painted, a lot of that gets drowned out. Not in a bad way, but it does leave for an interesting display piece. Now, I wanted to ask, and only if you guys are comfortable getting into it, but mainly because of the feedback that we got. So I think it was on the last group therapy, possibly, or the one prior, where we talked about the Kickstarter. And we actually had quite a few comments where people were like, hey, had I known about this, I totally would have backed this. This is a niche where, an area where I personally feel that we need somebody else coming into that arena. But
you're talking about the cases.
The cases, yeah. Are you guys okay discussing that for a little bit?
Absolutely. So it's an interesting story. So the reason why I came up with this was, first off, I'm a collector and I need stuff, and I don't want to go to IKEA. So that's number one.
Absolutely.
Number two is, as a custom model making company, like, this is what me and Justin do all day long, every day. We don't have side jobs. We don't have side hustles. There is only this. And we spend all of our time doing this. And it does not earn very much. It earns enough for us to pay for food, but it's not a long-term business plan. So my thought process is, like any savvy startup, is you have to spread out a little bit to be able to make yourself sustainable. And my thought was, there is no truly good solution for display that's out there. It just doesn't exist. Even ModuCase is not a truly good solution. Right. ModuCase is extruded aluminum and 2mm flexible acrylic.
Well, Ethan, panels. I've got ModuCases behind me. They display beautifully, and they take a hell of a lot to set up, and they take a hell of a long time to get to you. So it's both of those things are strikes against it, at least in my opinion. And so this looks really great. I wish are you guys going to continue to push for this? Like, you're going to continue?
We are going back to the drawing board.
Okay.
So we do want to relaunch in June. That's the goal.
Okay, good.
However, we have learned a lot from the process. And I think number one is people need to see a physical example of every single thing that you possibly are going to sell. We can't get away with, like, our the way that we work is, we have 3D printers and stuff, so we can make examples of our models, but still, like, we have a professional vendor that is going to make parts. So we did the same thing with the cases. I have a good vendor that can do the stuff. Here's a design. Here's all the stuff I want in it. You make me samples. They charge you a few $1,000s per sample of something that's going to cost you $100. Right. So I can only order a couple. I get them in. We show off as much as we can, but we can only show off like one or two. And then of course we didn't even get to the point of like, let's get people on board as far as YouTubers and other influencers and stuff that really do need to be able to say, okay, this is a legit thing.
Well,
so we really messed up there.
Ethan, I was gonna say, like, let us know how we can help. Because it's a damn shame that something like this doesn't happen, and it's a shame that something like this doesn't happen where people go, look, I would have totally been down for this had I known about it, because we are happy to have you guys on, talk about this, to like really get this in front of people, because you're right, it's frustrating for some people in the game and getting in the game to not have an option. Like going to IKEA sucks, and everything else, what are you going to do? There's nothing else to do. And like Steve at one point was going to get, Steve, you were at one point going to get different cases from another person that was going to try to get some stuff done. So he's gone through the process of thinking about it and looking at it, and there's just not anything that's like solid yet. Yeah. And I think you guys were onto something pretty big here. So it'd be
So here's kind of the plan. You guys will be the first ones to hear about it. We haven't even really talked about this a lot on our Discord channel or anything like that. But here's kind of the plan. The goal is come back with something that doesn't necessarily have every single possible feature that you could possibly put in an item. That's number one. So because the price was high, but we were also including like museum anti-reflective glass that you cannot buy from anybody except from the manufacturer in Latvia. And we can't get that unless you buy 100 sheets or 1,000 sheets of it. So like that was not going to happen unless this went big, and we just thought, hey, it's going to go big. And we saw the samples and we were like, this is absolutely insanely awesome. Like there's no reason why not. So eventually we'll get to this, but anti-reflective glass is gone for now, as well as like real glass just for the moment, just because we're trying to get to a price point and a shipping point that people can get to. However, we will not use regular acrylic. You can easily get scratch-proof acrylic, which I don't know why anybody's not using. It's like an extra $10 a sheet if you buy it from the right source. Like you can't scratch it, so you can peel off your film. You can do whatever you want to. You can put it on your bed. Like it's not going to get damaged, and it's kind of a no-brainer. But our goal is to bring this entire part of the company in-house. Here in the U.S., we already have a CNC machine. We already are used to working with all the tools that are required to build. We just don't have the people to do it. But I've already talked to people that can do it, and I can work with them as far as getting them set up for the mechanics. But our goal is to get a 4x8 CNC machine that has auto tool changing, so we can cut all the cabinets, switch to cabinet grade wood for all the base pieces, and then use just 1/4 inch, nice double thick acrylic for the glass. Adjust the lighting a little bit to make it a little bit easier. Make sure that every single case is smart powered, and then has an option for battery if you want to add a battery to it. But at least you can control them all by your phone automatically. It's just included. That's cool. But really like hone in on the features, but then also say, okay, here's the standard set. Here's the standard design. If you want something else, we now can do it one at a time for you, because we can make them ourselves. We don't have to worry about making 100 or 1,000 of them to get a good price. We know how much the materials cost. We'll buy them in bulk. It's here. And if you want a row of floor to ceiling wall cases, full on cabinets, we can do that, because it's just a matter of adjusting the software and making those, and we can ship them out. So that's the goal. The goal is to switch over to wood, switch over to the acrylic. We're changing up the design. I'll show you guys that as soon as we do some renders, but we actually want to move into building some samples pretty quickly. But basically the idea is, instead of having to take a face off a cabinet, the entire base and face is a single drawer, and it's a soft close drawer. So you unlock it and you actually pull the whole thing out, and the base is all part of it. And then you could just slide your thing in and then soft close, and it just slides back in place and seals.
Ethan, are you guys keeping in mind that a lot of pieces are extremely heavy?
Yeah.
So if you pull something out like that, you've got to be able to.
You've got to be able to not have it tip over. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. There's all of this stuff is going to be worked out beforehand. Some of the stuff, like if it's going to be really big cases, then you're probably going to either get them as a floor option with legs. Or it's part of a design where you're saying, okay, I want to go 6 feet tall or something like that. And it's built in, and then it's got a chain on the wall. and
See,
you're not tipping that thing over.
I'd love to find it. I'd love to have a solution where, like, say, I've got stuff on my shelves already on open shelves. I would love to find something where I could actually still use my shelves, but put something on my shelves that can now cover
Protect
just like I do with the what's it called? Jason, help
The
me out
MR
here.
edit.
The MR edit. Yeah, it has its base, it has its protective like acrylic that sits around it. But I would love to do that with all my like stuff if I could get a big, something to cover it without.
So that's something that we're
ridiculous.
working on. So like my biggest pet peeve on making acrylic like window units is that I want it to be borderless. I want that edge to be to not have a frame. But then I also don't want you to have to pay to ship an empty box that's all just an acrylic box with nothing in it because it's put together.
Yeah.
But I feel like unless there's a give and take, there's no way around that. So I feel like to make it better for the customer, ultimately what we will end up doing is learning how to properly put together a 1/4-inch display case that's glued, that's finished, polished, and looks like a museum piece.
Yep.
Figure out how much time that takes and put a good price to it. That's not what everybody else is charging. That's outrageous.
Right.
And then just figure out the logistics of shipping something that can be pretty big, so that we can offer something that's good. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So, Ethan,
but the other thing,
these have. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say the other thing. This is like probably going to be available on the website just as custom to begin with. So we may not even launch the Kickstarter with the cases.
Okay.
What we are going to launch is going to be battery operated, fully lit floating shelves to start with, because that's what people really want and can afford. So that's what I'm working on. That's what I'm working on right now.
Got you. Yep.
Oh yeah.
That looks great. This would have been right up my alley because I like what I do now, and it's unfortunate because it's so expensive and inconvenient. But usually when I get specific pieces in, I have a go-to that I go to, no pun intended. But basically, I'll go and give the dimensions and what I'm looking for, and then they'll build a pedestal. And then if I need acrylic, they'll build an acrylic top. Usually, I'll do the lights myself. I'll drill in. The specific lights that I use, I get them from Amazon. And it's not a convenient process. I mean, it works as far as displayability goes, because I don't have my entire collection behind glass. For that reason, like making the trips to IKEA and whatnot. So for the specific pieces that you really want to emphasize, or like Matt said, having a shelf, being able to have a piece on there, like the MR AT-AT sort of encased, but still on the shelf, you want to give those special pieces that displayability, but also that protection. And I find that every time I have to go and have something custom made, I'm almost paying more in shipping than I am for the actual product. And it's just one of those things where it's not always feasible. And sometimes the cohesiveness isn't necessarily there if I have to get different sizes. There's different inconsistencies. So yeah, a lot of people were like, wow, had I known about this, I totally would have been behind this. And I was surprised to see how many times we had heard that. And that's why I was just like, okay, I'm glad to know that you guys are going to be revisiting this and still pushing it, because I was sort of concerned, is this one of those things where because it didn't meet its goal, we're never going to see it? Or is it just one of those things where we will see it, but it's just going to potentially take a little bit more time?
Yeah, no, I 100% believe in it. And I think it's incredibly important to have.
Yeah, we need it.
So Ethan, have you considered allowing that back panel to be reversible and have white as an option? Because I think whether a lot of people like to have a white case so it's brighter, it lights things up a little bit more. Is that something that you can do?
A lot by a lot of people he means Steve.
It's a very divided camp as far as what people appreciate for the insides of cases. Scientifically, it should be an off-white color. That's the science of it. So we've in our testing, we feel like the black increases the contrast, and then we put gray to give you that diffusion, that bounce back, without it overpowering. Because if you look at a white case on video, especially, all you can see is white. It's just boom in your face. It can be really overpowering. So in my personal opinion, I think a gray or an off-white is the best color. But a lot of people love that black for some reason. So yes, I do want to create some sort of either interchangeable or reversible system for the back panel.
Yeah,
because
and I'm just
there is a science
panel.
to it. Yeah,
I'm just talking about the back panel. I mean, everything else can stay black, but if there was a there was an option to have the black back panel be reversible to go to some sort of lighter color. I'm not just the only one.
Yeah,
No,
I know
you're
you're
not,
not.
you're
I know
not.
you're not. I mean,
Yeah.
I agree. I 100% agree that
I was
that's
gonna
color.
mention this too, that you guys, there's so many uses for these cases. Like
I
you're
know.
not just talking about studio scale, or
Yeah.
you're talking about Hot Toy statues. Every collectible market needs this kind of thing, and so
I know
if
it's about
you
like
can-
how do we get the word out? How do we market it properly? We reached
Yeah.
400,000 people during the campaign. 400,000, and we got 80. So we're doing something wrong, right? We're not reaching the people the right way, or it was really just the price plus shipping was just too much.
Yeah, but
so we're trying to figure that out.
I think it's and this is I think I've talked to Jason about this, is that I mean, honestly, I don't think it's about reaching the greater amount of people. It's more reaching the exact right people that you need to reach, right? Groups like ours, Hyperdrive, some of these other groups, I mean, those are the people they're statue groups. Those are the people you want, because they're the ones that have to have stuff like this to make their collection look half decent, so for sure.
Yeah, agreed. So so we'll see how it goes. I'm going to start working on the shelves as soon as next week, I think. We've got AT-ATs coming in, so it's going to be I'm going to be bouncing back and forth a little bit. The shelves are going to be very, very interesting, though. So they'll have lighting on the top and on the bottom, and that's integrated into the shelf. The front of the shelf is actually a drawer, and you pull it out, and inside is going to be your controller and your batteries to power those lights, and the lights will be both cold and warm changeable, so you can adjust it to the color temperature of the room.
I like that.
Inside the room, based upon exactly how much you want. And then all you got to do is just slide that drawer closed. They'll come in 1 foot, 2 foot, or 3 foot increments, but the faces will all look exactly the same, so you can slide them together to make whatever length of shelf that you want. And then if you want something that's premium, we'll offer the front faces carved with designs in mahogany, walnut, or maple, versus just a white or a plain shelf. So that if somebody has a really nice room, they want to upscale things, you can get that premium, hard wax finish, beautiful real wood for the shelf itself.
That's sick.
So, and it'll be a really good price. I think we saw some like insane prices on Etsy when we were doing some price comps just to see.
There was one that was like $4,000 or something like that. We're like, what
are people paying for shelves that are like insanely simple with nothing? And a lit shelf doesn't even exist, and that's like, I don't understand why that doesn't exist, because that's like a number one thing. If you're going for inexpensive, then that's your starter point, is the shelf to put your Hot Toys on, or your shelf to put your model kit on, and then you can go
that's
to
what I was
the
just
case.
saying. I have to, even when I get mine custom made, I still have to go out and purchase specific lights, drill in, run the wires down, because the lights just, you get one option for the light where it's like the base is the light and it comes up, and it's so ambient. It doesn't have a focal point. You can't direct it in any way. Yeah. Rob, I'm curious. What are your thoughts on these type of display cases?
We need a solution, don't we? We need a workable solution that's where they all match as well. I like it. I'm very interested to see where it's going.
Nice.
If you want to, I can show you some of the stuff I'm working on. It's up to you guys. It's all in just 3D programs.
Dude,
but if you want to see it, then
why would we want to see something that nobody else has seen before?
CC, those all your Batman shit would look fantastic in those things.
Yeah,
that would look freaking
Batman
sick.
Shit.
The cows.
Huh?
Wow, all the cows and stuff.
Matt, side conversation. Did you get the email about the Dune statue?
Is it coming out or?
No, they announced the edition size.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
What's the edition size on that?
320.
320, I think. Yeah.
That's cool. I do actually want. I'm getting the De Novo 89 cowl, and I'm very worried it's going to look awful. But if I do get it and it looks fantastic, and I don't send it back, I would like a case for that, because it's silicone, and so I don't want it to be a
right. Yeah. You
a dust collector. Yeah.
Okay, let me share my screen. Which one? Entire screen. This screen. Okay, so I am learning a new program that allows me to make cabinets. So these are a little rough, but they function. So this is just the first kind of play around design with building an actual. This would be a like 32-inch by 12-inch cabinet, and what's cool about it is, again, it's a drawer.
Yeah, it's cool.
So it opens up. Again, yes, we do have to figure out the whole weight situation. I'm well aware of that. But up here, you would have your lighting controller, so it'd be hidden, so you'd see that. And then underneath it, we would just do really nice, like architectural designed, big fat strips where the LEDs are sitting behind under diffusers, so it just looks really neat. And then I think ultimately we would want to come up with a solution to have a lighting either up both sides or in the front facing up and the front facing down, just to give you that front on lighting.
Yeah.
The trick is I don't like frames, so this is the cheaper version, right? This is because it uses wood and it makes a frame, and those sides are closed. So if you were to build a cabinet out of this, then your connected cabinets. If you were to make a wall of cabinets, this is the perfect solution, because I can put these in rows. You can put drawers and cubbies underneath.
Stack them.
You know, it's not going to be stacked. It's actually just it'll be a solid piece, just straight up. You know, whatever wood that you want. You say, okay, I want 3 display cases with 2 drawers underneath them, and then feet. You know, based upon whatever design we come up with, and then they all need to link together to make my wall, or I need 2 of them to sit next to my TV or whatever. Then that's the solution for this. However, for like the high-end stuff, I'm still working on coming up with a solution that gives us that full 360 degrees, while acrylic is flexible, and that's where we have an issue. When you put 2 pieces of acrylic next to each other and they're bigger than like 12 inches, even if it's a 1/4 inch thick, it might just barely bow, and I don't want that.
Yeah.
So we're trying to come up with a solution to where it locks and seals, you know. So
how would you open these, Ethan?
So it's a push to open and a soft close. So they have it's a company called Bloom, and they make soft close drawer slides. And there's a push button, basically, that you just kind of tap it, and then it has a little spring, and it'll start the open process for you. And then I would put a centralized like jewelry case lock or something like that somewhere, so that you could lock them up too if you want them to not open up by themselves or anything like that.
Yeah, that's where I was going. Keep like little fingers out of there and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Well, I think something to think about too, guys, for the future is how you can buy them buy them one by one and expand as you get. You know what I mean? Like, because I think a lot of people can't just drop however much on a full display, but if they can build it as they go along and connect them together, make it bigger and bigger and bigger, that's always a great option. Because
that's the hard part of this sell, right? This sell is saying, okay, you're gonna hit, if you can hit the right people, you're gonna hit a really good market for brand new collectors, or anybody who all of a sudden has money who didn't before, that bought a bunch of IKEA stuff and says, okay, it's time to upgrade. However, the guys that already spent a crap load of money on whatever built-in system they have, or whatever, you know, Modulcase, anything, and they say, okay, this is awesome. It's a lot of money to start replacing them. So first off, it has to be a company that says, we're not going anywhere. We're going to be around, so that you have time to replace your stuff every year. And then next, it's coming up with the right kind of solutions for upgrading, and saying, okay, you can do this in stages, and it's going to work for you, you know. So we're all about that. I mean, that's the whole point of this is, you know, I know what it's like to be in that situation. I don't want to, you know, to put anybody in a corporate place when you're talking about fine furniture. So it's like, how do we create that type of logistical scenario and work with, you know, our workers and our design team and all that kind of stuff to make that a smooth process and an easy process. So so I'm thinking about it.
And this is the thing right here, dude. I'm in most of the Hot Toys. Kumar said most of the Hot Toys statue model groups. First time seeing this. I mean, that's really the challenge, right? Is to try to get past that and get it into the most eyes that are actually relevant to what you're doing. And then I think it's a great idea. I really do. I mean, it's been needed for a long time. It's been needed for a long time, because that's everyone only has a couple of choices at the moment. And that's just not enough.
Ethan, are you building these with fitting your models in them in mind? So I mean, because I think you've established that they're 12 inches deep. Are you going to have anything that's deeper than that?
Yes, absolutely. So these shelves we're thinking about doing 12 inches and 18 inches deep. That's going to be the two versions.
18.
So
Okay.
Because a shelf can stick out and cause problems if it's super
Too
deep.
long.
And I know that there's some
sure.
like I could use a shelf that's deeper for like Razor Crest, which I have up here, just like sticking out. But probably a case is going to be the thing that's going to be deeper than 24 or than 18. If you need 24 or if you need 30, then it's going to have to be one of the more bespoke furniture pieces. Just for logistical sense of like moving around your room. Like I think these are 16 and they're in the wrong place for me. I run into the corners of them all the time. So I think you just get to a point of like stability and stuff if you go over 18 inches for the depth
Yeah,
of
I think 18
shelf.
is a good size. I think 18 would handle about 90% of what I have in here. And then height. The height was the other concern that I had. You know, like space inside, vertical height. A lot of those pieces. I mean, a lot of your cabinets that you were showing had like lots of very short shelves.
Those shelves were always like any shelf is going to be an adjustable add-on that's built that you could just slide in.
Right.
So they won't come with a shelf as like the primary use case, but we always are going to make a case that you can fit either 1 or 2 levels of hot toys.
Yeah.
So that's my thought process is okay, we need a height for this statue, and then we also need to fit 2 hot toys. We need a height for this statue, and then you got to fit 2 hot toys. Or 1 hot toy. Like it has to serve multiple purposes.
Are those 1/3 behind you? Are those third?
Yeah, these are 1/3, and they are 32 with the base, I think.
Yeah.
Something like that. Or it was 30 with the base. So you needed a 32-inch tall shelf to give yourself just a little bit of headroom. So that's kind of my thought process. Is
Jason, what's our Dune statue? 1/3 or one?
I think it's 1/3.
1/3.
Nice.
Damn, that's gonna be freaking huge. Yeah, I you know what's a really good option for these two, Jason? I mean, you can make fun of me because I haven't lit my top shelves. I haven't put any lighting up there, but this would be a really good option for people that don't have that top shelf lit up either. Like they just haven't put anything up there, or because it's just harder to light from the bottom up, kind of a thing. When you're doing that, and these would something like this would be great to be able to light stuff on in hard to light places too.
Yeah. So the design of this is going to change a little bit. We found a really cool extrusion that kind of set up at a kind of a sharp angle, but I actually prefer a flush mount. So we found a metal extrusion for LED that tilts it over at a 45, but it's inset into the wood, so it creates a flush surface. So basically, what you'd look at is like this, and there's just going to be a line across the top here,
right?
And then we're doing a locking miter, so it's going to have a nice, cool little design on it, even when you put either edge banding or you could leave it raw because it'll be done with cabinet grade plywood. And then your electronics and your battery pack will go inside here. But what's also cool is there's just enough room that you can put Hot Toys accessories.
Oh,
so you stick your Hot Toys Iron Man up here, you grab all the accessories out of the box, you shove them in the drawer. Because if you get a 2-foot shelf, then you're going to get 2 drawers because they all need to look the same. So one drawer will have your electronics. One's just going to be a hidden drawer. You get a 3-foot shelf, you'll have 2 empty drawers and then 1 for the electronics.
That's cool.
So we want to make sure that there's an extra storage for that. And then we're going to design our own easy to mount French cleat system. So there's no messy Chinese poles and like nastiness that makes it so hard to mount these things on the wall. So
Super sturdy.
Fit them in between the 12-inch mark and pop them
That's
on,
cool.
and they'll be just as strong.
So
and then these are the upgraded faces that we can get for you if you wanted to switch to real wood.
A couple other thoughts about that. First of all, the French cleat idea is fantastic. I think that's really a really good way of mounting things.
Yeah, it is.
One of the challenges with statues and whatnot is being able to get wires in there for light up features. Right. So power, like a lot of the 1/4-inch statues that are out there have a power pack. That a power supply that has a cord that needs to plug into something. And
so this is great. This is great. Okay, so we'll have a 12-volt or 24-volt power source here. My thought process is we're either going to do 2 12-volt sources in a series to give you 24 volts, or to be a 24-volt power pack. But because of the light up features, those are all 12-volt. So it's probably better to do 2 battery packs in a series to get you 24-volt for the lighting. It'll last longer. That's why we're doing it. The batteries last a lot longer. But
what
what
I
is
think
your
what I'm
thought
getting
on the grommet that you need? What's the
Yeah.
look that you want where it's not going to like
Yeah, 'cause-
look
Right.
weird? Because I can cut a hole and put a rubber grommet in there, but is that
Yeah.
fine, or does somebody want a more bespoke way
So
of running a
first of
cable
all,
down here to
yeah.
attach to the battery?
Yeah. So first of all, I think you need 120 AC in there, and not just DC in there, because most of these come with a power supply. If you don't a power power adapter. If you don't, if you just have a DC line, I think people are going to have a hard time wiring it. I think every one of these statues has their own custom adapter to get into the back, and then I don't know how I would connect that to your. I'd have to come up with some sort of cable to connect it to your battery pack or whatever is in there.
I think
Your-
they all
your-
use
your DC.
2.1 DC. Do they make different ones? I thought they all
No,
use
they-
like the 2.1 millimeter, just like standard DC little nipple plug thing.
But they're all varying voltage. I know that.
They vary
I
in
know that.
amperage. They do vary in amperage.
I'll have to
Usually,
take a
if
look
it's
at my-
coming out of a box, but yeah,
Yeah.
You're right though. I mean, there needs to be a
But
solution.
regardless, right? They all have a transformer to go to AC.
Yeah.
And so if I don't have that, then I need a cord, right, to do it. I need some sort of cord that'll let me hook up to your power supply, and there's going to be multiple of it because I mean, I can imagine if you're stacking them, you're going to want. Well, okay, so if you're stacking them, each bottom drawer will have its own power, right? Okay. So yeah, so you as far as the wires themselves in there, the grommet, I don't know.
But Steve, don't you think
Yeah.
that can be something that is kind of an upgrade or something that's an
No.
option?
Well,
Because
maybe.
I'm not going to light my shit up. Like I don't do that.
I think an option is cool. What I will tell you is it is probably the single reason why I don't light anything up is because of how hard it is to run power into the case.
Sure.
If I could run power into the case even more easily, I would have everything plugged. I would have everything plugged in, and I'd have the option. That is the single biggest reason why I never use the light up features.
I'll have to look it up because my only concern there is I don't know if a battery pack can output 120 volts.
Well, that's what I'm getting at is if there was a way that you could just put an outlet in there that I could plug it into the wall, and then I've got an outlet that I can plug into, then I can connect all my power cords. Right.
So you're not talking about hiding the cords. You're talking more about you would have one single cord going down to the ground. You'd have your shelves, but then all the cords for the statues can get hidden inside the shelf. So you just have one cord coming down, like one main master or something like that.
What I'm thinking is everything would just run that power adapter into the drawer, and inside the drawer there would be a regular power outlet or something in there.
But what is that power outlet plug?
Yeah, you got to connect that to something.
That would then connect to the wall. 120 AC.
You'd almost have to figure out a way to daisy chain these things together somehow to make
because it defeats the purpose of the wireless aspect of it.
It does
do 120
does, yeah.
Unless you want to take 120 out of the wall from behind the shelf, which I did think about having a pigtail for. Yeah. So then you would have an electrician come in. They'd take 120 out of the wall. We'd have an adapter inside that allows you to just quickly hook that up, and then there would be a plug for you so that you could plug in whatever you want.
If you just put a hole in the back of the damn thing and I can run my power cable.
Yeah.
Seriously, if I can run my power cable out, plug it in, run it out the back or whatever. It's just, I just think that that's having 20 cases in here. Running those wires to AC is a nightmare. And ask other people what they think. I appreciate the attempt to go wireless, of course, right? But they're not all that way. Or if you can come up with a way that you can provide cables, that'll allow me to plug my statue into your battery pack.
I think that's I feel like, and I will do the research but I really feel like I've got sideshow stuff. I know my brother has some Prime One and some other stuff. I can look at the back and ensure, but my Iron Man, my Legacy Effects Iron Man is just a regular DC plug. I feel like if it has electrical that's not like the Sideshow Hot Toys battery plug thing, which you have to, you got to do that on your own anyway because it's little hearing aid batteries. it should just be a port that is standard. And if it's a standard port, then I can make a pigtail for it, and then all you got to do is run it out. It's in the drawer. You run it out the grommet and plug in your stuff.
I think let's
I can handle the amperage. I can 100%.
Let's be careful because I think we're so far into the weeds on this that like
we'll figure something out. So yeah, it's a great idea.
It is a great idea. You guys will figure it out, but you know, not right now. So I do think it's a great idea, and you guys are, I mean, you guys are killing it. Like I was worried when we were talking about it last week, or is it 2 weeks ago, Jason, that you know, that this would just go away, which would be such a bummer because that's not, you know, that's not, I think especially people finding out about it now are like, oh damn, like I wish I would have known about this or found out about this, or that it was still actually happening so I could jump on it whenever I want to jump on it. Right. Like, I'm glad you guys are still pursuing this because I think it's important. Like it's super valuable, and I think it'll work.
Thanks. So, yeah, we're gonna work hard on it.
The concern was that like if the Kickstarter wasn't met, is that this is just going to go away? But no, that's fantastic, and I'm glad that we
makes our lives a little harder for a few more months.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Yeah. I hear you. And you know what? Like it's great. It's great that you guys learned some lessons with this one. Kickstarters are no joke. Like there's a whole like science and a whole like thing behind getting something to actually work on Kickstarter. And you know, I thought you guys put a really nice page together and it worked out really well. So I'm really hopeful that you guys can make this work. So
thanks. Yeah, you should see stuff. It's going to be over the next couple of weeks because again, I'm going to make every single piece that we're going to offer that's going to be available. I'll make a real one. So
yeah, and let us know how we can
and send them out.
Let us know how we can help in any way. If you guys want to jump on at some point again and talk through things, we're happy to help. Because
if you guys want to review them, we are definitely making plenty of, especially with the shelving, because that's easier for us to make. I want to make a ton of the 2-foot shelves with the real wood faces and stuff like that.
Yeah. I'm gonna make a couple of these too. So
killer, awesome.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic.
Well, great job, guys. That's awesome.
Happy to do that. Yeah,
really cool.
Definitely.
Really cool.
You guys want to hang out for a little bit while we keep going, or?
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
Awesome. Absolutely.
Steve's got 1,000 tabs to go through.
Yeah, man. I mean, okay, you guys want to be associated with us as we go forward. All right. Let's see. Let me go back to where were you? You were this was going to be right here, and then we're going to go on screen. There you go. Okay. All right. So yeah, thanks a lot, guys, for diving into the details on that shuttle. I'm really stoked to get that. Moving.
Just Steve, just one question before we move forward. If somebody didn't jump on this, is this still available, the shuttle?
For a very limited time.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the month, got to shut it off. I actually have to go back and look through the invoices and just see how many gun barrels we had made, because we got all the accessories made beforehand. And I just got to make sure that what is the stock that we actually have. Otherwise, we'll have to get more. So, they're available on the website right now. But if you want one, jump on it now because it will be closing.
Okay, very cool. Okay,
says the guy that didn't jump on it. Obviously, so that's good. That's good.
All right. So next up is the RS guys announced their signee for the Bausch helmet.
Nice.
Very cool. Rob, you want to talk about this for a couple minutes?
Yeah, you didn't tell me we were talking about this.
I'm sorry. Surprise. We could not talk about it. I could keep moving.
Yeah. No. I'm well. Thanks to Jason for helping out with this one.
Yeah, very happy to help, and also just want to give a nod to Hector, who definitely helped with the bulk load, and Charlie as well for assisting with the the design process and the materials. And it was definitely a lot of moving parts, but I think all in all, at the end of the day, it was a fantastic project that in the end came together beautifully.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I really appreciate the quality of that plaque.
Yes.
The material, the engraving, and all that. That's going to look really, really sharp
Well,
we've not really shown that off or talked about that yet, but that will be coming. Well, I'm looking at the picture. Here, and that clearly, I actually don't even know what it's made out of personally, but I'm looking at that thing and I'm saying that's not your ordinary plaque.
It is a new metal. It's actually a new metal that we've just invented for this plaque.
Unobtainium. It's unobtainium.
Yeah,
it's the same metal that they made the thermal detonator out of, guys. Literally.
Is it?
No, dude, that'd be amazing, though, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would be. It'd be amazing if we had a couple more pictures to show, but that's okay. Yeah, I listen. I've heard. Is Nilo not an easy person to get to do this?
I think he's a very private person, isn't he?
Okay. Very private person. Someone who doesn't really keep in touch. Like the ILM guys are very, there's a lot of camaraderie there. They all keep in touch for obvious reasons. And here's the interesting part. From what I gather, and I don't want to obviously spread any rumors, but there wasn't any bad blood. There wasn't anything that went awry. I just think Nilo is a very private person. I just think, although he has such a large hand in so many of the things, prolifically that we're in tune with these movies, specifically Empire and Return of the Jedi. It's one of those things where he just disassociates himself and not in a negative way, but just likes to keep private. And
I think he's more of a Star Trek guy, guys, than Star Wars.
There's that too. I mean, the Bird of Prey, right? He redesigned the Bird of Prey. I love listening to the story. He's like, I didn't know the fans had like this affinity for the ship, and I went and redesigned it, and they like wanted to string him up,
It's very, very cool. Very cool. So
yeah, but he doesn't partake too much in these type of projects. So it was really really interesting and just a great match. I mean, I just, like Rob said in the video, like even if Carrie was alive, it's one of those things where you almost want to question which one would have been better, right? It's that tough of a toss up.
Yeah,
not really, but that's, hey, you know what? I think Carrie's if she was still alive. I mean, shit. But that said, this is fantastic. This is fantastic, though. Rob, do you know how you guys are gonna? I don't know if you haven't revealed it or don't want to. It's fine. But do you know how you're gonna like display the plaque? Like, is it gonna be part of the stand, or are you gonna try to do it separate from the stand so you can put it where you want to, or separate?
It's gonna be separate. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's good.
It's going to be separate. We've got a lot of detail coming out on that.
Oh, good. Okay.
Again, it's just part of the drip feeding, really.
Yeah, the process. Yeah.
I like that though. I like being part of it going. Like that. Yeah, all the updates as far as the build and the additions and the info being dropped. I like getting that little sneak peek behind the curtain, and it feels like you're part of the process as you move forward.
Jason likes to see the sausage being made.
Seen this.
Jason likes that. Jason likes the sausage. He does.
So you see this. I mean, Nilo's pretty exclusive and he's very private. And Jason came to us and said, "Oh, we're thinking of getting a few of these done."
Yeah.
And I think we had a conversation with Jason, and we were like, "Well, it's got to be all or nothing. We can't do some of them with a plaque and some without." It's so that kind of escalated it. It started off really small and it kind of blew up.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm glad
in a good way. In a good way. Yeah. Me too.
Cool. And I think keeping the plaque separate, everybody, it's like we have so many things that do that, and so we're used to that. So I think it's totally fine to have them to where you can put the plaque wherever you want to display it, right? Solid.
Yeah. I mean, and Nilo's a really interesting guy. He was like the John Mollo for Return of the Jedi, but people don't really talk about him or know that much about him. So it's nice to raise some awareness on that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think not to put too much out there, but I think as you guys unveil more about the build and the helmet as you move forward through the process, I think some of that will also be shared, right? A little bit of that will be talked about and shared as well, right? Steve, I noticed I saw you noticed the plaques, and when RS's video popped up, I was looking at some of the comments and seeing some of the feedback, and it was interesting to see that a lot of people have noticed that and said, "Wow, like look at the difference of this plaque. I really love it."
You can see how thick. You can see it's really thick from the side. I mean,
yeah,
that looks, and it's large. and
Yeah.
it's not your typical black.
Two things that I like: thick from the side and large.
Yeah, it's nice.
Oh yeah, beans on. Good stuff.
So Ethan and Justin, that's another thing to take into consideration with those display cases, is us helmet collectors. We definitely need to be able to have a solution that will work with helmets, and and that that's where the 12 inches deep is for a lot of helmets not enough. That's why the 18. I think 18 is.
How
really
big is 12
important.
inches, Steve?
It's bigger than you think.
Because I think we're doing 18 by 18 for helmets is what we decided on something.
Okay.
That's
not bad.
perfect. I think the 17-18 cube is perfect for helmets.
Yeah.
Because if anybody has like a Vader,
I do want to look at some kind of solution that we can offer that gives you the ability to dust proof it. I don't know what that solution is, just because there is a shipping cost in shipping a box. But if we can offer something that's not a 2 millimeter folded acrylic piece that actually looks good, that's 1/4 inch, that like you're really gonna like, that it looks like it was in a museum. Like, I want to be able to offer that at a decent price. I think it's just a matter of saying, probably like we'll offer it on the website and say, if you want it, we can make it because we have the materials. But it might not be like some sort of big discounted thing, just because it's kind of like, it's a serious business when you get into polishing that acrylic and going through the process of getting that glued properly. It's not a like, I can put this together in an hour and be done and be ready to ship it. It's more like, this is kind of a day's worth of work to really like do it properly, and we don't want to half-ass it,
And don't do the Maji case thing where they put those like rubber things in the backs, and that's how they dust proof their cases, and it's just annoying. It's annoying.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Okay, so next up is there was an update from Regal Robot on the production
I saw this
of the Gaffy stick.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm on a payment plan. I'm on a payment plan, and it's like, okay, should I pay everything off real quick? So,
I know, right?
Because it says those who are paid in full, these will begin shipping soon. And my payment plan is like going out like 8 more months.
I know, yeah.
So it's like, okay, do I jump on it right away?
That's awesome.
But it's good to see it.
So they have an in-house studio? Sorry, I didn't know this. Like, they don't get their stuff done overseas. They do it in-house.
Everything is. There's a few things where there's a few things that are sent off site, but it's still done in the States. But literally, Ethan, you walk in and it's just like everybody is, whether it's restoration or working on salacious or gaffy, like it's being done in-house painting. So they'll basically take everybody, put it on, and then people will fall back. But this, what you see is kind of what you get. And I like this only because the attention to detail and the quality control. You have so much control over QC, and it makes for a good setup. I mean,
that's awesome.
Dude, I swear to God, if someone breaks into my house, I'm gonna go straight to this thing. And I mean, look at this thing, dude. Like, you could really hurt somebody with this thing.
Oh yeah.
I'm hoping to see some updated photos like this of Bausch, like the whole RS team sitting at a table, everybody's painting.
Every single
I find hilarious on that front is the it looks like one of the paint containers is a first order cup.
Yeah, it does look like that.
Yeah.
It's almost like they're telling us how they feel about
dangerous.
That ruined it for Rob. Rob's a no now. No thanks.
I thought that was just one of those young people painting them. That was just their drink.
Probably.
Pretty gross.
Yeah, young people don't know any better. So I can let that slide.
Okay. Now I think this is okay. CC.
This is cool.
Why don't you go ahead and take it away on this Vader bust?
So they showed the prototype. I think it was a few weeks ago at least, and there's a bit of feedback regarding the paint. Justin Nunez actually had a lot of good commentary on how the initial paint was on the prototype. So this is the final, where they've made a lot of adjustments. The most obvious to me that I noticed was that there was almost like copper square, kind of like not receivers, but those like little square blocks around the inside that are exposed. Those were very like pink in tone. Now they're definitely like a copper or bronze. I think there was some commentary on he needed to look a little more menacing. I think something about the eyes might have changed.
The eye was a big, going back and forth with the images of the eyes and all the details there too.
They didn't do any...
First of all, Cece, who is they? Who's making this?
Sorry, MFA.
MFA, yeah.
And they're I think they are completely sold out because they initially had ended it at 70 and they had a wait list, and then they upped it to I think 99 or 100. And I know 2 people who are looking for one this week, and one was able to get one, and I think they only have one left. So I think there's still quite a long wait list for this, even with the extended edition size. But they're going to be starting production on the rest of the runs because this prototype is finished.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I think they did a good job.
So cool.
Jason, I can't imagine this thing is like accurate, but is it like decent? Is it like pretty good?
Yeah, for what they're representing, yeah. And I think that like CC mentioned, where some of the feedback popped up in the thread, because Justin had been sending me messages back and forth as well, going over like the skin tone, the eyes, the photo multipliers, the Glenn Ross dental, bridges on the head. And so the only thing that they're really missing, and this is like nitpicking, is the way the helmet's split. There's some other pieces that like flare off and flare up, and I mean that's if you're really going to sit here and pick it apart. Otherwise,
that's tough.
For a statue, like for a bust, I mean, this is. Wow. I haven't even seen Sideshow do something this good. I mean, the Vader reveal is a killer piece, but this looks great.
And honestly, guys, like whoever's getting this, the way you light this thing is going to make it better.
It's going to make or break it, yeah.
Right. So like if you light it all even and like all like whatever, it's still going to look great. I'm sure it'll look fantastic. But if you like light this properly, like it'll look absolutely killer, man. Like
who's getting it? Is anybody in this group getting it? You guys?
I'm gonna get one.
CC and Jason, I think. Yeah.
Nice.
One thing I do like about this is that one thing I know I always notice with Vader projects is the helmet is always lifted so high off the head. Mm-hmm. This aligns like where his eye aligns where the lens would be, and vice versa. A lot of times you always see like the lens is here, but the eye's all the way down here, up there. So like if he truly has the helmet on, it doesn't match where the face would be in respect to where the nose, mouth, etc. would be on the helmet.
So CC, is that a sculpted cape or fabric?
It's sculpted. And to be fair, as far as like the changes to the sculpt, they did the render and did the casting before Adam Savage did the video with I forget the studio, because I think it's a German studio, who did the actual props and the helmet and the suit for the Kenobi series. And they got a lot of really good close-ups of the helmet, and it was a lot more jagged. But I mean, they were too far into production to change any of that. So I do think that's quite nitpicky, because they also didn't have any like good references.
It's a little unfair to go that far into detail, though, especially for something like this. You know what I mean? Like it's if someone says, "Hey, here's a $5,000 1-to-1 exact replica," that's different. Then you can say, "Hey, you're missing this," or "This is off." But yeah, if you're missing a few small elements, it's one of those things where beggars can't be choosers.
Right. Looks great, man. Looks really good.
So cool.
Okay.
And I don't think you could ever go wrong with the price either.
Yeah, what was the price on this? What was it?
$13.99.
Yeah, that's not. I mean,
wow,
that's great.
That's a great deal.
All right. Next up is Tuscan Town. We can finally expand our Tuscan Town.
Tuscan Town.
Do you have all the Tuscans, Steve?
Right. Oh, I canceled that a long time ago. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was I just decided
it's too
I need
big
to cut
for
back
me.
on some statues, right?
Yeah.
But there's this one, and I think this is another Tuscan. Yeah, there was that. Nope. I thought there was another Tuscan. Let me
Rob, do you have the Tuscan? Rob, did you get it?
The MIC one?
Yeah.
No.
No, okay. That was a big boy. It's a beautiful piece too.
Yeah. So here's the other. Here's
Oh,
the other
okay.
view of what we what it's gonna look like. Yeah.
Damn, they really cover him up, don't they? Holy shit!
But
Unbelievable.
yeah. Was it going to be 2 pieces or 3 pieces in Tuscan Town eventually?
I think it was going to be like, you know,
3, isn't it? 3?
Yeah.
I thought it was 3. No.
I thought it was. I think he was toying with the idea of 3, but then I think scaled it back to 2. And I think it's probably going to be like not crowd, like maybe user input situation, kind of like what he did with. I know with like Boba on Throne, he was like, "Hey, if anyone who bought this, let us know." And if the majority said yes, then he would do it. So.
Reminds me, you know those catalogs around like Thanksgiving and Christmas where you build up the town and you build up, you know.
Yeah.
You might just keep getting more Tuscans and keep adding to it.
Yeah.
So Cece, I giggle every time you say it. You guys use the word throne for toilet as well, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just checking.
Like Elvis died on the throne.
Yeah.
Is throne used as a more reverential type of situation there, Rob? Like you
No,
guys...
not at all.
Oh, okay.
Not at all. It's every time I hear the word throne, I just think of toilet.
Oh, okay. Got it. Yep.
All right. And then here's a little sneak peek at a Hondo coming our way.
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
Looks like he's seated.
What's he holding on? Is that his knee? Is that what he's holding?
His knee. Yeah.
Interesting way to, interesting way to hold on to your knee. It'd be interesting to see the whole thing.
This is kind of like reminds me of the way that Bo-Katan sits on her throne, right? You know, all casual and you know.
How you doing?
That big spread, the wide spread, yeah.
The OnlyFans pose.
That really hard throne.
Yeah.
This coming
the
up.
Stone throne.
And then the tie is on scale for a PO in August. Is on schedule for a PO in August. Cece, are you going to follow up with this? You going to get this too?
No, I think I'm good with just the tie advance. But I know one person who's really excited for the Interceptor. And didn't we just see them in Mando?
I think so, yeah. I think I don't know if it's exactly the same, but
so that's cool. They're relevant again.
Definitely so. Yeah. So he's coming out with that, and his Scout is that's a production piece.
Looks pretty good, yeah. I like it.
Yeah, it's cool.
Here we go.
Yeah, I forgot to post these.
Oh dang! So he's is this thing almost shipping then? Is that what's going on, or?
Yeah, it looks like it. Huh?
That's cool. That's really cool.
So that's pretty good.
It's got them Hoth binoculars in the hand. That's interesting.
Need some Ewoks, man.
That has to be mixed media.
What's that, CC? I didn't hear that. What about the mixed media?
The strap on the binoculars has to be mixed media, I imagine.
Interesting.
Might be, yeah.
Matt, I thought about you the other day. Somebody was selling off a few pieces, and I was like, "Yeah, what else you got?" And he had the sideshow, the Ewoks attacking.
Oh yeah.
The biker scout. I was like,
Oh,
how much is he selling that?
How much is charging?
Oh, I didn't even think to ask.
Of course not, because I love Ewok. I love Ewoks, so why would you?
It's still available. I'll send him a message.
It should. I love that. I love that one.
That's a good deal on that. Oh man.
If you want a bunch of little Ewok minis, I think Star Wars Legion just came out with a whole set of Ewoks for their game.
Oh, really?
Nice.
They're just tiny. Nice. Yeah, they'd be cheap. Just put them on your desk.
Awesome.
That's
I
cool.
freaking love it.
All right.
I'm waiting for Regal Robot to make me I want a full, not a full, maybe
Wicket?
a bust of Wicket. Yeah,
Oh, a bust would be nice.
a for reals one.
He's gonna feed him little
Pretty
pieces
cool.
of cheese.
Dude, I'll feed him whatever he wants.
Chick-fil-A, little Chick-fil-A.
Some Chick-fil-A.
You want the one with the tongue sticking out? Yeah.
I tell you what, if you brought Chick-fil-A to those Ewoks, they wouldn't have hurt those stormtroopers. Stormtroopers had Chick-fil-A, it would have been a different story.
They wouldn't have been
All
trying
right.
to cook Han and Luke either. Yeah,
No, it would have been peaceful. Everyone would have been happy.
Oh,
All right. So here we go with something really different. Jason, you know this guy. Can you fill us in on this?
Yeah, so this was actually really interesting to see. So Daniel has been doing what is called a future relic, and it isn't noted here, but this falls right in line with the future relics. And the idea behind the future relics, I think in 2013, the first one was released as an edition piece, right? Like one that you could access outside of a gallery and not paying tens of thousands of dollars for. It was through OWOW, and it was a cellular phone, one of the original thicker, what we joke around and call like a Zach Morris phone. So that was the Future Relic 1. So the idea is that you have these modern day technologies. Yeah, right here. So that's Future Relic 1. So it's these sort of modern day technologies that if somebody was to sort of unearth them sometime in the future, this is basically what you'd get. And they're interesting because they're basically like crystallized. So they make them primarily these ones. There's ones made of like volcanic ash, and there's different tiers where you can get, like, for example, the keyboard that was done off of Pharrell keyboard. And I think it's Casio, if I remember correctly. Yeah, it's definitely Casio. Looking at the square buttons, if anybody remembers when they were younger, the orange hexagonal pads. But so there's this one, which is gypsum salt and quartz. This is the editioned one, and then the volcanic ash one, etc. But again, they're called future relics.
So Jason, they're not styrofoam.
They're not styrofoam. No, these things are heavy. Like the boombox and the what's it called, the keyboard. I mean, they're 1-to-1 scale, and they got some weight. Like this thing is like, yeah, it's more than a few pounds.
40 pounds.
But he's done a lot of interesting collaborations recently, and there's some furniture things, and he has another company called Snarkitecture where they do a lot of architectural things, which are really done creatively. But this whole future relic aspect, they have a crystallized one too. Yeah, so here's the set minus the boombox and the keyboard. So these were released, I think, about a year and a half apart from each other. They coincided with like a short film, each one. There was a backstory to each one. And then once you finish collecting the entire set, because I had started collecting these early on when the first one was released.
Collect them all. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, collect them all, yeah. You were able to get basically like a booklet, like a sort of archaeologist's booklet. That picture down on the far right-hand side, yeah, that's the entire set right there. And then there was some few variations. Like there was a second camera that was done. There was another cassette that was done in collaboration with Nas to celebrate the anniversary of Illmatic, which is an amazing album. But with all that being said, seeing this little teaser with C-3PO, and there's a one-off R2-D2 that I posted on one of the threads. I forget which one. That was the one-off that they made at the studio. I don't know if that's going to be released. But the C-3PO looks like it's going to be not 1-1 scale, but a full C-3PO from the whole body of it. I'd say it probably might be around like 12, 13 inches, because he has done, not my cup of tea, and I get nothing against it, but he has done some of the Pokemon, both card format and the actual characters. So it's interesting to see this for two reasons. One, edition size. The edition of the future relics are usually kept pretty low, and they're not, I wouldn't say unaccessible, but they're not necessarily like for an entry-level collector. They're, a few of them, I mean, if you buy the set now, it's like $50,000. So not the cheapest.
Oh my God. How much did they originally retail for, Jason?
Depends on the piece, right? Like the cassette, for example, I think was maybe 500, where like the boombox or the keyboard were a couple thousand. So you're looking at a couple thousand for most pieces. So I'd be interested to see what the edition size and the prices on this, because one, it's Star Wars, right?
Yeah.
Two, it's very aesthetically appealing, especially if it has the compressed sort of gypsum and quartz build as the other future relics. So I just think overall aesthetically, this is going to be a beautiful piece. He's done like Andy Warhol's the Brillo box. He's done a couple of Porsche pieces. He's even done the anniversary of Disney, where he has the Mickey Mouse, where it's like the blanket is sort of flowing over him, so it's kind of like this inverted sort of ghost, if you would. But I'm really excited to see this piece and to see something like this be brought to the masses. You usually don't have like a lot of contemporary artists like Cause or Daniel being brought to Star Wars or to the masses for people to purchase from their collections.
Like you said, Jason, it'll be really interesting to see what they price this at, because that's going to make a big difference as to, because I mean, I could be wrong. This is an assumption, but I don't think a lot of us collectors are necessarily into art collecting either. Right?
Correct.
It's not, I don't think it's like a hand in hand type of thing. And so the prices of art collecting is very, I think, quite different than collecting. Not always, but it's quite a bit higher, I would imagine. So
you said this is a 1-to-1?
No, it's not a 1-to-1. I'm sorry. The other pieces, like when we look at the other relics, from the cassette to the boombox, those are all 1-to-1 scales. So this would probably be like, maybe I would assume anywhere from like 10 to 14 inches, basing off of some of the other figure style pieces that I have. Those are all like in the 12-inch range. Okay. But it looks like a full.
It's definitely different.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
I debated just looking at the Pokemon line and seeing if that can give me kind of an idea of what the pricing would be on this. Just assume that this would be higher because it's Star Wars, based on the license.
So,
yeah,
it's an interesting piece. I don't see how it would fit into a whole lot of collections. I think that's what Matt was Matt was coming from as well.
Yeah,
that's why I think it'd be interesting to see the how many, like what the edition size is.
I do think though this is a type of piece that could fit where other pieces couldn't. Like you could, like putting a hot toy in an entryway when you come into a house or something like that doesn't make any sense. But putting something that's like very tasteful, like art like this, like all white, has like, you could put that into places you can't put other collectibles. So
this has a very contemporary feel.
Yeah. Putting a quarter scale Predator statue right above your door when you come in.
Yeah, no one would do that. No one would do that.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah,
but you can feel when you feel these and handle them, like the way they're packaged, they're beautifully well done. They come with a pair of gloves, because obviously you don't want the oils from your hands to seep in, because it'll apply to it almost instantly. So it usually comes with a pair of white gloves for you to take out and handle, but they're beautifully made. They're very well done, but it is a very interesting crossover. Cause did a crossover collab with Lucasfilm where he did the Boba Fett, Stormtrooper, and Vader. The thing is they were more toy-like. They were more, I'll use the term toyetic, the whole Kenner thing, but they had a toy feel to them, so they were a little bit more acceptable, and you can kind of put them in any display, and they would fit in, where this, I agree with what Matt said, stands out a little bit more. They do actually put, it's quartz. I mean, it's not the highest quality, but they do actually put quartz crystal. So the larger shards may not be, but when you see it in hand and you see it in light, and those like indentures there that are like broken up, you'll see little parts of quartz and gypsum salt and things like that, and hydrocal that are all like visible to the eye as you like kind of turn it in the light.
Neat.
Yeah, this is a really interesting collaboration. The Pokemon thing that he did wasn't a collaboration, which is something that he released directly out of the studio. And you have a lot of fans of Pokemon and art, so like
I'm kind of more interested in those pieces than the Star Wars crossover.
The Pokemon,
huh? No, not the Pokemon.
The regular,
the original ones. Yeah, like the Polaroid camera and the mobile.
The regular relics are amazing. And then after the 9th one, where it was finished off in the series, there was another where they did Crystal, and there was like I started off with like a Yankees hat. There was a Game Boy and a couple other pieces, but one of the ones I have outside of the edition is I have one of the Volcanic Ash keyboards, and I also have a guitar that was done. And then recently they just Rimawa, the luggage company, they did a turntable, which obviously because of what I do, added the turntable, which is a beautiful piece. I mean,
look at the crystals on this one, Jason. This really shows off how realistic the crystals look.
That looks like
this you can really see.
lepidolite.
Yep.
Huh.
The blue.
Very cool.
Very different.
And then there's some where they do actual like bronze pieces, like you can see. I don't know the names of the Pokemon.
The
characters.
Charizard right there.
Yeah.
Charizard, yeah, some bronze ones.
Oh, this one?
Oh, that's the Eevee. The dragon one that was a little bit higher than that was the Charizard.
Yeah,
Guys are
right.
speaking a different language. I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
That's a bronze version.
Okay, interesting.
Now these are out of reach. The bronze ones, I mean, I don't know about this one in particular, but a lot of the bronze pieces, even the edition ones of 100 or 200, start at about 20, 30,000. So
Anything
you're at,
Wow.
It's insane.
but it's crazy because they sell out like that. I mean, it's like a Mondo drop almost. You go on the site to try to get one, and they're gone. Like they're
That's
just
crazy.
they're done. Yeah.
When you make a name for yourself, man,
Yeah.
so many things you can do.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's true.
I'm very interested in the C3PO. I just hope I don't get priced out. We'll see.
Yeah.
I don't think it will. I mean, I think the collaboration with Sideshow really does make it interesting, right? Not to be repetitive, but I think the edition size will be higher than normal, and I think it'll be a little bit more affordable. And I think they might probably, I don't want to say this, like cheapen out on the materials a little bit to make it a little bit
That's
more
what I'm
accessible.
curious. Like, do they usually do it in stone? Like, is the whole white part stone, or is it just the crystal usually?
So it's usually a mixture of like the gypsum salt, which is the white compressed stone, with the hydrocal or the quartz crystal. So I mean, like with the
And that's
regular
the whole
stone,
thing. So it is a concrete-ish
it's
mixture.
a very solid piece
stone.
altogether. And then there'll be variations. Like if you get a 3PO and I get a 3PO, they won't be exactly the same because a lot of times, and that's another thing that makes this interesting. Is this going to be like an offset factory piece? Because when you get a regular future relic, like a camera or the boombox, for example, like they're being chipped away and broken at in an individual, like each one will vary as to
They're all
what part.
handmade. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so the damage isn't cast into it. The damage is actually done.
Correct. The damage
Okay.
the damage isn't cast in. It's
Okay.
added after the fact.
That's cool.
So once they compress everything with the crystal and the quartz and the other elements, then they'll just break away at it. So this way, if you're like, I don't know, Sideshow.
This one maybe the damage is cast into it.
This one, I
Yeah.
think.
Oh,
is
for sure. For sure.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be curious if they didn't use a polystone, because they can be polystone feels like stone, and that's how they get the price down. But
here's the,
I don't know. With
here's
his
the-
name, he can probably charge whatever he wants.
But here's the
So,
interesting
yeah.
thing, right?
Go ahead.
So for this going into a sort of market or a demographic of collectors that aren't familiar with his work, they can kind of play with that where the damage is cast in, like maybe the materials aren't as sort of natural or high end as they're usually used to working with, and the edition size can be larger because most people aren't going to know what to compare it to. But then again, for those who do collect the work and are familiar with it and see this and say, oh, here's my chance to add a Star Wars piece from a future relic into my I wonder if that's going to create this sort of like, okay, well, this isn't what I expected because I'm used to all the future relics following suit. That's kind of how he made his name, by having that sort of control and quality over how he releases his pieces. So whenever Sideshow gets involved in something, I'm not going to be quick to shut it down. I definitely take interest in it because I mean, I don't know, it can go either way. It really can. But I definitely have my eye on this. It's something that I'm strongly interested in.
It's different.
Yeah, very cool.
This is
thanks,
no pun, but this is perfect. Like, this would be a perfect piece for you, like the cases that you guys make. This is something that you want to put in one of those cases, literally.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Thanks, Jason. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm not.
All right.
It doesn't. It doesn't. I don't. It doesn't excite me at all. This. I think if I had one of your cases, I wouldn't be wanting to put this in it. It's too, and I think it's too much Star Wars. I don't I don't think I'd get away with putting that in a space outside of my collecting room, and it's far enough away from Star Wars. Whereas his other pieces, I quite like. You could, I don't know.
You would have to have more eclectic art to go with it. It couldn't stand on its own when you know you have another space.
Yeah, it sits in a really funny space. That to me.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. I think the harder.
Be interesting to see how it pans out, and if I ever see one in a collection or somebody's space, how it fits. Be interesting.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So next up is Iron Studios is doing a 10th scale Vader, and there were some photos of the not final prototype. It's waiting for a licensor approval.
10th scale. Wah, wah.
Yeah.
It's very small.
I say it all the time. Almost doesn't count.
Yeah.
Almost.
Sizest. All these sizists.
I'm very sizist on this stuff, yeah.
I have like all of the endgame 10th scale Iron Studios.
Do you like it?
The scale for me works. I feel like it's a little small, but like on me, my business sense talking, I want to do 8th scale statues, but only dynamic where it's 2, 3, or 4 characters together to create the same size as a 3rd scale.
I got you.
But you can create the full story of what's going on.
Kind of like what Iron Studios did with their massive, like, what was that, X-Men stuff that they did?
The crypto thing or whatever
yeah,
that robot's called. Yeah,
right.
Where they go together.
Galactus?
No,
something like that. No, not Galactus.
Sentinels.
No, it was the
Sentinels.
Sentinels, right? Or,
That was really cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where I think the size totally makes sense. When you're doing something massive or bigger and you can put them together like that, makes sense.
Yeah, it's all about the story. If you have that space, make the story so that they all
2 or 3
work
pieces
together.
Yeah.
Like you could have a whole Jedi fighting thing. Awesome.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh yeah.
This is a cool sculpt. I mean, I think it looks cool. It's just 10 scale. You know.
Does it come with a hologram behind him? Or
He's gonna get one of those LED holograms, so you just have it just running all the time behind him.
Spins around the back.
So the problem I have with this is I don't really want to be reminded of Kenobi.
Exactly. Exactly right.
Too bad.
So true. So true.
Rob, that's why I didn't get the other Vader. So.
What are they gonna make? Are they gonna make like Boba Fett riding a bantha or riding a freaking Rancor?
Rancor.
The Rancor.
I love that gift. Whenever you send
Like
it,
a bantha.
Do the Boba Fett riding the Rancor.
It doesn't look too small.
This isn't. I was gonna say this isn't that bad looking. It really isn't.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't look too bad.
They're not awful.
No, it's not a quarter scale or something.
I like
nice.
I like it, Dan.
Yep.
All right.
They're decent. You can cram a lot of detail into them.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
but
Wasp.
they are. That's Wasp. Yeah. Sorry, I dropped one of her wings. The issue for me is that they don't take advantage of high quality paint. You know, they're fine, but it's like
right.
When is somebody going to take the advance and spend some more money in paint jobs?
Yeah, is the detail there?
The detail on the face is there,
Okay.
but it's simple shading.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I hear you. Yep.
Yeah, they could have done a little bit more with the paint.
Yeah, but again, I can say that about everybody. So
yeah,
not a big gripe.
All right. Next up is Hot Toys. Okay, stop with the notifications for fuck's sake. All right, so they released a Sidious, Clone Wars animated Sidious. Love that look, man. I think that look is awesome.
Yeah,
I like that.
Are you still getting Hot Toys, Steve?
No.
Oh.
Thankfully, I'm out.
This looks great, though. I mean, I'm not buying it, but it looks amazing.
I think the face looks really good.
Face looks fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
They just keep getting better and better.
The smile's a little bit. I don't know.
Well,
old.
Yeah, he just looks like he farted and he doesn't want to say anything. You know,
the actual face and with that smirk. smile or whatever. It looks accurate.
I mean,
Yeah.
look
So
at this. Look at the smile on this. Looks fantastic, dude.
Yeah, I
Look at
think
that.
if
Yeah.
you
Oh,
pose it
Yeah,
right.
He does.
with the cloak up, it looks awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Very menacing. Yeah. Nice.
All right, this
They really
it
do
does
all
look
the
a little bit
clothing
weird
too.
here.
If anybody remembers the sideshow version, the cloak
It-
really hurt it. It was like this really cheap wool that was like thick and kind of flowy all over the place. It looked really weird, but this
Wasn't to
looks great.
scale.
Dude,
Yeah.
if an old
Look-
person makes that face and you're in your room by yourself with that person, you need to get out.
Man,
Like that's
imagine
effed
that.
up.
Look,
And those
looks,
hands too. Yikes.
I know.
he looks like a bit of a weird magician.
Yeah. He's gonna touch you.
Golly.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna touch you.
Gonna produce a coin from behind your ear.
I'm gonna
That's
touch
when he
you.
wants to tickle you. Tickle game.
I'm gonna get you.
He's gonna start
Look
doing
at
the
his
creep
pose.
walk. He's like, do the creep,
So what?
do the creep.
This pose is great. Look at this thing. It looks awesome. Absolutely awesome.
Yeah.
I'm
I
gonna
don't-
get you.
I definitely go with the cloak.
I don't want to sound like Tom Hanks in Big, but I don't get it. It's a real world rendition of an animated
Yes.
Yeah, right.
thing.
Mhm.
Okay.
Which
And
they've
he-
been doing. They've been doing with their other like. What,
And he
Darth
uses
Maul.
two lightsabers in Clone Wars. Does he?
I guess.
I
been a
just
long
realized
time.
he has
I
two
don't-
sabers. Okay.
I don't remember her.
Well, some people are clapping about it, so they must like it.
Wow, you have Joker and Jordan Belfort.
I
Pretty
know,
happy
right?
about this. Wow.
Wow.
I'm
Wow.
gonna get you.
The sculpt is
You get a little cataracts going on, huh?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Soft
I
eye
hope so.
going on.
Foggy eyes. That's why you got to be careful. They can't see you. They're searching for you with their old fingers.
And I can smell the Bengay.
Dude, he's even got the liver spots on his head. It's freaking crazy, man.
The sculpted paint's pretty good on the face.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks
Yeah,
good.
it is. Dude, I'm telling you, Hot Toys do a really good job with old people. They do a good job with old people.
The Tarkin and Count Dooku were amazing.
So I watched Revenge of the Sith. Revenge of the Sith. Am I getting some weird feedback?
Yeah, it's
Yeah, it's like delayed.
Luke.
For
Oh,
everyone.
it stopped.
It was. It's gone now.
Weird.
It's gone now.
Is it back?
Luke,
Go ahead and talk. Go ahead and talk. Show.
I am your father.
I am your
It's my chief.
I twitched. my
It's all
head.
slowed down
My
too. That's
head
weird.
It's all slowed down.
Is it back?
What's going on?
Gotta clear your throat. Get it out.
Let's go.
Oh shit!
Is Steve going fixing it?
I don't know. Is it him?
I don't hear it now.
It might be
I think
Steve.
he was doing something.
It might have been Steve.
It might be-
It's gone now.
Dude, that's fantastic.
I'm gonna get
So
ya.
yeah,
I'm gonna
well, I was-
get ya.
I was watching Revenge of the Sith, and he really hams it up, doesn't he? Ian McDermott.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
I never really noticed how
I'm
really
gonna
theatrical he is.
get ya.
Well, they told me you gotta earn that paycheck this time. You want something? You want something from the craft food table? You gotta earn your keep.
The carbon sickness will pass in time.
Is it okay now?
Holy shit,
Is it
Steve!
okay now, guys?
No, it's not okay.
Is it Steve?
Oh, it's your
It's-
AirPod.
It's Steve.
Wow,
Holy
I had
shit!
AirPods. Wow, really?
My AirPod.
Oh my God,
He's gone. He's gone.
dude, that was fantastic. We should have had him say some lines. That's
That's pretty
freaking
good.
awesome.
That's funny.
When he comes
Yeah,
back, we'll have him
uh,
test it by saying
Give me a
some
try.
lines.
Steve?
Hello? How is it?
Oh, that's better. That's
Oh,
better.
that's a bit better.
There you go.
Weird, huh?
Oh man,
could-
Steve.
And I couldn't hear it, so I have no idea how bad it was.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
No, it was not bad. The bad's not the right word. It was awesome.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Why was it awesome?
That audio
Is
was
it-
in line with the video when you did the unboxing of Cad Bane.
Dude, it yeah. Steve, it was like
Fuck
the way
you.
The way it sounded was like if you had said some like killer Star Wars lines, it would have been freaking awesome, dude.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, bummer. Okay.
You
All
sounded like Diva from Fifth Element.
Yeah,
Wow.
a little bit.
All right.
She was dying.
A little bit, yeah.
All right. All right. Next up. Oh, okay. So I got a story to tell about this.
Oh,
So
All right.
I have had the original Commander Fox that Sideshow released lying around my house for a year now since I sold the other ones. And 5 days before they announced this, I decided to put it on eBay to sell. So I put it up at a penny auction. It was going up and up and up and up. And fucking A, man, they were.
That's exactly what you sounded like. Holy shit.
Okay.
That's freaking perfect.
Well, anyway, eBay,
So that comes
Hot
with a
Toys
massive
decided
snow
to.
party.
Yeah. All right.
Hey,
Go ahead. What's up, Steve?
Hot Toys came out with this right in the middle of me trying to sell it on eBay.
They sandbagged your sale.
It didn't do too bad. I had no accessories and no box or anything like that, so it sold for 160. But I think I probably lost about $50 as a result.
Oh,
But I couldn't believe. I mean, think about this figure. This figure hasn't been out in a decade. I mean, when did Sideshow release this? I go to sell it, and freaking Hot Toys re-releases it. It's absurd.
Well, they saw your listing, so
Yeah, it must have been.
Yeah.
Did that really stick in your craw? Because you seem upset about that.
He's coming back for Bad Batch as well, isn't he? Season 3.
Is he? Okay.
Cool.
Is that why he came out? Because he was in Bad Batch?
Mm.
Was he in Bad Batch? Was he?
No, he's not. He's in season 3. I don't know if that's.
I mean, out of all the
but
commanders that they could have done, why did they pick him?
You were there, Steve. You were at the panel.
Yeah, but I don't remember it, man.
Yeah, all the audience cheered, and I had to ask my 12-year-old.
Oh, that's right.
I had to ask my 12-year-old son, why did everybody cheer? And he said,
"Yeah, okay,
Commander Fox."
Yeah,
okay.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, I guess.
Not many people were at the panel.
I like them shock troopers.
Surely that leaked out.
And
anyways,
for a while, Steve, those sideshow versions were really sought after and getting pretty expensive, weren't they?
Yeah. If you had
until they re-released it, yeah.
At one point, you probably could get $450 for this guy if you had everything. All right, then God, these fucking notifications. Battle droids.
That's so weird.
Geonosis style.
That's pretty funny.
I can't get used to that. These look pretty good, though. I think they came all good.
The weathering is done right. It looks good. That's probably all printed weathering, though.
Because even these, the sideshow versions, were starting to crawl up there in price. Not as bad as the clones, but they were starting to get up there.
Wait a second. Hold on. All right. Rob, you still there?
Yeah.
You're thinking of Wolf.
That's right.
Fox is
right.
dead. He was killed by Vader in a comic. I didn't know that.
Interesting.
Got to keep up with everything these days.
Yeah. All right. So that's Battle Droid. And then what is quite possibly the worst.
Really?
In my opinion, the worst trooper design ever, in my opinion. This Purge trooper. You like this? Was that you, Jason? You like this?
I don't like it, but I don't think it's that bad. I've had like 4 people tell me this is the worst thing they've ever seen.
Okay, good. I'm not alone. I think it's the worst. It's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. Look at that. Ugh.
It's kind of a samurai-like head.
Yeah, I was just thinking
Ish,
of
but
three.
not quite. Just a little bit.
Yeah, I wouldn't be
I get
surprised
the-
if there's some sort of Macquarie art somewhere that inspired this.
I see the
Possibly.
problem with it. So like when you look at Scarif troopers or the ATACTs, the death troopers, they all have a little bit of derivative of other troopers, right? Just a small touch here and there.
Mm-hmm.
This I feel like there isn't a lot of cross reference, but yeah, I've just been being told for the last
connected? I
couple
don't
weeks
know.
how bad this looks.
What do you think, Rob? You like all the new troopers, don't you?
So, I can't say it's the worst design. It's just in that pot of all the other shit they've produced.
I mean, it's no Sith trooper.
So-
It's not that bad.
I don't. It doesn't look Star Wars. It's just like generic computer game stuff.
Yeah,
Could
that's
be anything.
you're right. That's a
I
good way to
don't.
say it.
You could show me this, and I would think it's Fortnite. I don't know what this is.
Blitz, I think the Dark
Dark
Trooper
Troopers, yeah.
is number 2
I
for
don't-
me. Is the second worst.
I mean, bad guys are always black. That's why Stormtroopers are interesting because they were white.
See, now what gets me though,
it's just too much cliche, and I don't know.
Oh,
For me.
this is atrocious.
I think that's a good way of saying it, Rob. It does look like it's outside of the Star Wars universe almost. But like if you look at like a range trooper feels Star Wars. It's just I don't know. It's just different. But
It's
this
a weird triangle thing that they did on the side.
I think it's the same problem with you comment on it looking samurai. It's like you're leaning too much on it. The original designs for Vader are very samurai, but I don't look at it and see samurai at all in any way, shape, or form. And it's the same with Boba Fett. I didn't look at Boba Fett, and I didn't look at Star Wars and think, oh, it's a Western in space. I didn't think that because it was done subtly. Whereas the Mandalorian just leans straight into it, and it's too over the top.
it's too forced. It's too intentional.
All right. So up next is okay. So I thought this was really interesting here. I said fucking notifications every freaking window. Anyway, Hot Toys. Sorry, was it Hot Toys? Hot Toys released this video, and look at the freaking cool bases on these things.
Wow. Very elaborate. That's okay.
I'd love to get these bases.
They do look nice, yeah.
Look at that.
We can make them for you.
There you go.
That's true.
But I mean,
maybe not the smoke effect.
Yeah.
Are these
bases are really
actual?
awesome, man.
Are these actual reality, or is this like?
It's probably
these
render.
renders.
It's got to be a render.
Yeah,
Those
it's rendered.
renders.
It's like
It's probably
display
it's probably,
it your way.
It's probably AI. Probably AI now.
Yeah, you're right.
I like the grass.
I like the way it looks like, it's like this half it's almost like a flower pot sort of effect there.
Yeah,
It would make a really cool display, honestly, because it's very architecturally pleasing.
Yeah.
That'd be a fantastic display. I tell you though, Hot Toys is going to be some of the worst teases out there with the stuff that they show.
Yeah.
Never ever pull through with.
So this isn't happening, right?
No, of course it's not.
Yeah. We're just talking about, being probably a render. Nah, Hot Toys, anything you ever see like super cool from Hot Toys, they'll never do. They'll never actually release. I mean, that looks like real grass almost. Yeah.
The smoke looks good as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, the smokes almost looks it's rendered, but it almost looked like they took like cotton or something to give it that effect.
I think it's a game engine. That's what it looks like to me. Doesn't
Yeah, it
look
looks like Unreal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Unreal.
Okay.
It's not a nice loop play back though, huh, Steve?
Yeah, it's like a boomerang. What is this?
I don't know, but it's like the 15th time I've seen Mando.
It's on a loop. All right,
Holy shit.
We'll skip over whatever's next. All right.
What's that all about?
So next up is Kyber Studio. Apparently is getting into the model game now.
Didn't this not happen? I thought this didn't happen.
This is May 4th, dude.
Is this really? Is this real, Steve?
says that they want to take the opportunity to show us a project they're working on. So Luke, so Kyber Studio was doing another video game piece.
Oh, that's the one that didn't happen.
Right.
It's
that
the
didn't happen.
Evil Dead one or something like that.
Yeah, right. But they teased this. They said they're working on this with VRZ 3D Studio. I don't know who that is.
Interesting.
If there were enough interest, they could produce it in different scales and sizes. So I just
alone.
thought, wow, okay. I'm really nervous about them.
Yeah, that's a huge freaking undertaking.
I mean,
yeah,
some of those prints aren't right, but it's fine.
Well, that's what's interesting. Ethan and Justin, do you guys feel like, I know because there's some makers now that are making studio scale versions, like style of stuff in statue form, right? So do you feel like
the company that painted our Tantive for a guy?
That's right. Yeah, you're right. I was like, the name sounds very familiar.
Do you guys feel like they're getting close to the detail quality of what a studio scale piece would be, or are they still?
It's all about the details. So like, what I would have to do is go grab the perfect grade Bandai kit and start looking at it. Because if they're doing like what Rob Crowley's doing or something like that, and they're not, if you're copying, then it's just work. And if you're a good modeler, it's just work. But if you're grabbing the pieces, then you're making something that's worthwhile, right?
Yeah,
so that's the question: is it a large Bandai kit? Is it a better D'Agostini kit, or are you collaborating with the right people to get
right? Yeah,
that's really the question, But as far as modeling technique, I think some of these companies, like I think the only one that's really coming close as far as like modeling technique is going to be NYC, because they already had the production facilities to say, okay, if we have a 3D model, we can make it.
Do you feel like, even because I mean, are there the stuff that like even that they're making, is it like, could you put side by side to a studio scale and see the difference? Is it as detailed as a studio scale piece, or what's the, you know what I'm saying?
Yes. Okay. So that's going to be the question. I would have to do a deep dive into how they engineer, because yes, if you're going to go into production with a model, then most of the time, especially the bigger the studio is, or the more you're going to make, the more corners you have to cut in saying, okay, if I have these pieces layered together and I know that there's supposed to be a gap and it's visual, I have to make a choice to say, do I fill that gap because I can make them all one piece and mold it, or not, based upon how much I want to make it accurate. So so everybody makes those choices. So I'd have to say, like, for these situations, like you can see on the front, all that piping that has undercuts, none of that can be made into a single piece. So are they going to go back and just fill all that in, like you would for any plastic model or something like that, even though it might be more detailed? Is it accurate? No, because of the way it has to be manufactured. Would we have to do the same thing? Probably, unless we had enough people that are willing to fork over the cash for 2,000 pieces. Do you want the kit to be that expensive? There's so many things you've got to weigh. It's like with Slave 1, we're gonna make sure that there's no all the stuff that's supposed to be undercut is there. We're not going to cut any corners on like filling in gaps and stuff. If it needs to be this many parts, it'll be this many parts. We're going to try to combine.
I'm going to make it look as accurate as possible to the real deal. So like,
my thing with the statue makers, I get nothing against it, as a whole, but when they start doing pieces like a Millennium Falcon or a Sandcrawler, I think it's just too ambitious for the process used. But that's just my opinion. I think doing a TIE fighter or doing, an X-Wing is okay. But when you start doing Falcons and Sandcrawlers and things like that, it's like you're really, it's just such an ambitious project, even from scratch. Even a resin kit, even a scratch kit is ambitious to begin with. So when you're just going into Fusion or whatever program you're using, you're just chunking it all together and making this one slab. It just I don't understand it. Yeah.
So I've had the MYC tie. CC has the MYC tie now. I sold mine. What I noticed is related to what Ethan was just. I think it was Ethan was just talking about it. Is everything is really soft.
Yeah. So that's a process in manufacturing. and they're making choices about materials and saying, okay, if I 3D print this at the factory using this resin, then I have to sandblast it to get rid of the paint, the print lines.
Right. You
Then you're
lose
going to
all
get a
the
soft detail. If you print it in this material, the wax, you're not going to do that, but it's going to cost you 4 times as much.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
What's it worth to you to give your customers the better product?
Right.
You know, and that's where like everybody has to draw the line. And it's not saying that something is like worse or better or worse than the other, but like we make the choice to say if it's not crisp, we won't do it. Right. But I don't know if we're in a different situation because we're just really focused on the hobby side of things. I have no idea. But like we don't want to grow to the point where we have to make those choices based upon like the holy penny or the dollar to say use a worse material just because you can keep the price the same and make more money. So those are, but again, I'm not to say that that's a wrong decision depending upon what's.
It's also the difference between like a kit versus a statue. Like
right.
Are all kits,
of course.
So I just want to address, Dan says out here, never cut corners, and I think there's a lot of truth to what he says, but let's just to defend the statue makers who are doing this. The statue makers are bringing models. I called it models to the masses previously. For a very reasonable price, you're getting something that looks pretty damn good with a decent paint job for a decent price. If you want the next step, you're probably going to pay double after you get the model kit and you get it painted. A high quality model kit that's painted at least double, right? So that's if you don't want to spend that much, I think the NYC stuff is a great option for you. When I got it and I took it out of the box, I knew immediately it was not for me. As soon as I looked at it, I did not like how everything was soft, and I didn't like the mass produced paint job on it. The weathering, I could see the brush strokes in the weathering, right? I could tell, okay, this is somebody who's trying to do a lot of these real quick.
I hear you, but that's also fine for. And not in a bad way. It's fine for a lot of people. Like I can totally get just popping it out, putting it on the shelf. You're good to go. Like Cece, do you like your NYC piece? You're on mute.
Yeah, I'm mute.
I do really like mine, obviously, and I've turned down offers for people trying to buy it for close to twice what I paid.
Yeah, people love those NYC models.
They do.
My concern, and I don't want to play devil's advocate here, but because I come across as very biased, the issue that I'm starting to see now, and Matt, we had this conversation yesterday, is that it's getting to the point where I really don't have anything against it. People think I do. I don't. The issue that I'm starting to see now is you have people asking, like, let's say you have something on offer. Hey, I got this Y-Wing available. Okay, is it 3D printed? No, I don't want nothing to do with it. It's like the idea that 3D printed means quality, that it means better, that it means it excels above something that's scratch built or cast or lineage or donor kits, if you will, and that like it's okay to go for the convenience, to go for something that you can purchase for a reasonable price, take it out of the box and put it on your shelf. That's fantastic, and I'm all for it. But there's now this fraction that's happening where a lot of people are now thinking that this is basically like the rule of thumb. And it's kind of what we used to run into with Anovos versus like RS, right? That heftiness, the weight, the feel of quality, quote unquote, versus like an RS where it's like thin and frail and kind of like, what is this thing? And I don't understand it, but not realizing, okay, this is better and this is what you want.
Yeah, that's how they
and
make it.
It's getting very skewed. And I do think it serves a purpose, bringing something to the masses for a reasonable price that they don't have to do anything other than unbox and put on their shelves and be happy with it, right? Because Master Replicas didn't get too far with it. Plus, we're going back almost 20 years now when they first did that. And the latest piece of theirs was 15 years ago. EFX only put out 2-3 pieces. I think the last was a die-cast Falcon. And even that was 10, 11, 12 years ago. So, like, that gap needs to be filled to an extent. But the problem is you're now seeing people that are being so skewed by it that, where Steve was able to differentiate and say, hey, these details are soft. They're not for me. I think one night we even put up images where I had the tie that I was working on and I showed the wing versus the NYC one, and people are like, oh, well, who cares? I'm not going to look at the word Lockheed. I'm not going to look at these details. But it is noticeable. It is, and there's nothing wrong with that.
But
However,
I will say, Jason, and this is kind of how I do appreciate this. Like, leave the models to the model makers. I can appreciate that, but I can also appreciate that, like, CC isn't the type of, and I'm probably not necessarily the type of person that's going to go out and be like, hey, I'm going to buy a studio scale model that is now I have to be sent and get painted by somebody else. And
correct.
like that's just not what I'm going to do. And so it makes certain ships and certain things accessible to people that don't want to deal with that kind of thing. And that's a big deal. Like that's huge.
It is. But like I said, and I'm all for that. The problem that I'm seeing now, as somebody who is in the community, who does build pieces, who does, works on pieces and commissions, is that people are now, they're straight up asking, like, is this 3D printed? And if you say no, they want nothing to do with it. And that's becoming, that's not an isolated incident. I'm not taking that from like a single experience. We're seeing it more and more that people are now using that as the standard of quality to match against. Like, if it isn't produced this way, then it's not good enough. And it's like, that's the hard part. That's the part that gets a little overwhelming.
That makes sense. I mean, people are definitely not educated, but
they don't know the difference.
I think you just have to come at it the right way. Like for me, what I want to see from NYC is better paint. And I think that's something that can be done without incurring extra cost, because it's really just a matter of taking the time to give the factory the swatches and a sample that's been painted properly, and say, okay, if I can afford 6 layers of paint, these are the 6 layers that I want with these colors. If I can afford 5 layers of paint, take the layers that you can afford, because you get charged by the layer, and do the best that you can with them. I think that's really my only detract on their side of things from getting it to the masses, is I know how to do it and I want him to go that extra step on these things, because it's really just not that hard to get there. And I'm like, I just don't understand why you don't. That's what I'm thinking about. Because like, if we release a statue, then I want to be like, okay, how much does it cost for you to do something that a professional would do? What is the cost on that? Because that's what I want to see. I want to see that paint.
Yeah. On Steve, I'll say this, on the Kyber Studio side of things, I don't understand why they would start with this one.
Dude,
like,
could you imagine? I don't get it. I think it's crazy to have their first vehicle, their first model, to be the Falcon. For the love of God, what are you doing?
Yeah, it's tough.
I mean, their statues, I've been very happy with them. I'm very happy with the results. Baby steps, man. Falcon should not be your first.
I wonder if it's because they, you haven't seen it come out from NYC yet, or I guess in some of these other makers
been teasing it. I think they've been teasing
but it hasn't really hasn't really fully come out yet. So maybe that's why they're thinking about it. But like, man, that's a hefty project. But anyway,
good luck to them. I hope. Hope they can do a good job. That's the thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Just do a good job.
Great conversation, guys. That was good. Yeah. Okay. So next up is okay. So Dan's been chatting up in the chat quite a bit. On May the 4th, I think Dan released like the entire next year's worth of statues as teasers. I got like 8 things here that he teased that day.
This is really cool though.
Right. So first up, this was actually out for pre-order.
This came out awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. That's gorgeous.
It's cool that you can put the helmet next to, like, you can display both even next to each other. That's really cool.
Wow. So one interesting thing about this is a themed base though. But it doesn't
detract.
Doesn't detract from it, which is really unusual for a theme base to actually get there.
I've talked about this. I'm more on the side of going as simple as you can with the base. That's my opinion. But at the same time, the piece looks fantastic. Like, it does look really good. So
it's gorgeous.
It's really it's beautiful.
Dan does put a lot of thought into the bases, though, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was going to say, even like added extra detail at the back of the neck.
That Batman Beyond bust that he did. the base on that just
You know,
really
it's I
finished the
think
piece.
yeah, I think there's sometimes it totally makes sense. My concern with some of these bases, and I think I mentioned this to Jason, we've talked about this before. I just don't want people to look at the base. I want people to look at the beautiful like piece that he has here and not look at the base. And so
I think that works because I didn't really notice the base.
yeah, which is great. I mean,
this one doesn't compete too much. But
yeah, if as long as it's not competitive on the actual piece, then that's great. It's great. It's killer. The helmet and everything is fantastic.
What do you think of this, Jason? Because it's definitely got that Macquarie vibe, hasn't it?
It does, yeah.
Very
definitely.
That's the Rebels version.
I do like this. I think it's very well executed. I like the idea of having both options. I know some people may think that's overkill, but I like it. You know, it's just a very clean, good execution of a bust. I just like it. It's not too over the top. It's not underwhelming. I think it's just right. I think it's and I agree with Matt. I'm not one for thematic bases, but I do think that this is a piece that's an exception in a way where it doesn't visually compete with the piece itself. Because the last thing you want is something that draws you. You know, you don't want something that draws your eye away from. You know, you make this beautiful bust. Yeah,
that's insane. In it, 2 full helmets with.
I know. You can almost display that just the straight up Vader helmet somewhere else, like somewhere else.
I was like, dang.
I would actually be interested in this.
What's that?
I'd be interested. Oh.
I'd actually prefer that if it was just the helmet and not the bust.
Oh,
exactly,
right.
CC. Yeah, I would be interested in just the regular helmet, no damage or anything, just as a standalone piece.
I could see that.
I'd
actually be down for that too. I think
he did the Magneto helmet. I don't know if that people have it in hand yet. That kind of gave me hope that he would do more what I would consider like props.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's cool.
So
So what would that be made out of then? Like, what's he making this stuff out of?
Polystone.
He's in the chat. We can ask him.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, Dan. What are you making? Like, what would the helmet and stuff be made out of? To.
Oh, Dan says it's coming. He's saying it's coming.
Just the helmet. Is that?
Just the helmet.
Is that just the helmet, Dan? Just that would be.
I would be up for that, Dan.
That would be very cool.
My alley, because like I don't.
Yeah.
The bust is just so large. I don't know if I could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm with Hazard Blue. I think this one just works better than the Kenobi one for me.
The Magneto is. He's saying the Magneto. Okay.
Oh, and he is considering only the helmets. Okay, please keep considering that.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, that's definitely. I'm CC. You and I are thinking the same wavelength on this one.
Well, I was wrong though because he said not polystone. I wonder if
those
bravo
pieces,
bravo for not using polystone.
It's like a polyurethane because that would be awesome.
Yeah, it needs to be fiberglass or polyurethane.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
Okay. I'd be down for one of those helmets.
You see, I think I'm more interested in this because I preferred the Clone Wars and because it's got that kind of Macquarie look to it. I know it's from but if it's animated, I quite like the animated look. That's why I wasn't
the good thing
that
too,
much into the Sidious because it was a real world from. But no, it's just too mashed up.
And it's not too over the top from an animated perspective. I still think it's a good execution. It's well done. And another thing he got right too, as we were talking about earlier, is like the face aligns respectively with the nose, mouth, lens. You know where it should be in the helmet.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah, that's a really nice piece.
Next up is a teaser for an Emperor bust.
Oh yeah,
this thing is crazy looking.
I really wanted his what quarter scale or third scale Emperor when that came out last year or whatever. I really wanted that. It was so good.
Yeah, I missed out on the Vader. I've been chasing one of those, but there's too much competition. There's a bunch of other people after the Vader as well.
I think the expression of the mouth is too neutral for me.
Yeah, agree.
I would like it to show a little bit more emotion, like evil, right? Eddie Brock says over here, I say full on smile or even laughing. a smile, like an evil smile or whatever.
Smirk.
Right? A smirk. Yeah. Other than that, I think it's really.
Teeth could have really hurt this teeth, though. I think
What's
teeth
that?
could have been.
No mouth, no teeth.
No teeth. No teeth ever. Right?
Oh, okay.
This is his resting emperor face.
Yeah.
It's just chilling, man.
Operational.
All right. So he
Yeah.
says resin, fabric, metal, acrylic eye, possibly CNC aluminum parts. Interesting.
That's on the Vader,
Nice.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Dude,
You can get
that's
some
awesome.
metal tusks in there. Nice.
Oh, he's also saying the portrait's not final. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. That's awesome.
Next tease is an ESB Vader.
Sweet.
This is, in my mind, taking a big step. I mean, there's going to be a lot of people looking very closely at this. A lot, to see how accurate it is. So
yeah, there's
should
going
be
to be
interesting,
a lot of nitpickers.
right? It's like, well, you're taking a chance.
So is this 1-to-1?
No,
You think so?
I think this one. I don't think they've actually said, but I think the assumption is going to be one third,
one quarter, and 1/3.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
And
I
I
didn't be
didn't.
the full statue then.
Is he kneeling down?
No, I don't know. It's a good question.
1 quarter, 1/3, and he says film
Cool.
lineage. Can't get any more
Ooh.
accurate. All right,
That's
let's
awesome.
see it. Let's see you do it, bud.
That's awesome.
That's really cool.
Someone's still going to correct him. It's just
I know that's why. That's why.
Dude, man.
That's why I'm chuckling. That's why
We
I'm
had people
chuckling. I'm
rip
like,
accounting on some of our kits, and we're just like,
good luck.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't
So
recall.
this-
He could have been in the archives last week scanning the ESB suit.
Yeah.
So I was going to be like, that's wrong.
So this has got me excited here because this is the counterpart to the High Ground, which is
that's right.
one of the most anticipated statues. So to see the counterpart, this should be really.
That
really
Obi-Wan looks
cool.
fantastic.
Oh, dude.
This should be low ground Anakin.
Yes.
low ground. There
Mhm.
you go.
Pre-burn unit. Pre-burn
Two
unit
legs.
Anakin.
Got my legs, Anakin.
All right.
This is pre-op Anakin, and then he'll deacon.
Oh, this is cool.
Emperor on throne.
That's cool.
Gotta stay away from this one.
Emperor upon the throne.
That's cool.
And then some. Okay, so
Whoa.
this is back to tank.
This is happening, huh?
Okay. That'd be
This is interesting.
Yeah,
see
that would be
awesome.
really interesting. Yeah,
How's he
some
gonna get
exact
the? How's he gonna get the like liquidy look?
resin. You can do it
Resin?
with resin
Resin?
Yeah.
quick,
because you
quick
can
resin,
you can insert bubbles with a syringe as you pour it. I mean, if you go all out, you can do that. I don't know if that's possible because it's going to be freaking heavy too. But
I was gonna say, make it a nice hefty piece for sure.
chunk. Yeah, that's a chunk of resin. But
there might
man,
be
that'd
you,
there might
don't
be
want, you don't want to drop
a
that bad
gel.
boy.
Yeah.
Well, and that's why I said that I gotta stay away from the Emperor on throne because I think everyone knows
Oh,
I'm basic
hold
and I
on.
love all the throne pieces. But it's like I don't think I can get both of these. I think it would have to be back to tank or the Emperor, and Vader's my favorite character. So
Oh, he said real water in the tank.
No, that's
Real
somebody
water?
else. That's somebody else.
Oh
That's
no, it's
Hazard
Hazard
Blue.
Blue. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
It's actually sparkling water. You have to fill it up every week.
It's like, that's
You
gonna
can,
get
you can
gnarly.
rig it up like a
Period.
cool PC. You know, you can just have the water tank.
Yeah,
kind of running.
It's
Perrier on tap,
Yeah.
Perrier. Just
there you go.
Did anybody here have the 3 3/4 scale back to tank that had a little tube coming out of it? You could fill it with real water, add a little tube, and you can blow into the tube to put bubbles in it in the back
that's
of the
cool.
tank. Yeah.
No,
It's
but
cool.
I can picture you, Steve, going.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Okay, so he's putting ale in it. So
It's time.
Can you
It's back to
imagine
the
having
choice.
Can you imagine having people over and being like, "Hey, we're drinking out of this.
Drink it out of the tank.
Everyone
my
drinking out of the Anakin."
shot.
oh, or the tubes are is
Oh,
actually
it's gonna have a slight burn taste to it.
Cece, what?
is that what the tubes are? The
Yeah,
tubes.
can you imagine?
Yeah, it's
Everyone
very
grab a
smoky.
tube.
Yeah.
That'd be
Everybody
freaking
grab a
crazy, bro.
Okay. This I'd be really interested to see. He's
I'm
going to
interested
do
in this.
Asajj.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
And then some more obscure ones. So we've got Starkiller.
Mm-hmm.
Starkiller.
And
Ultimate
then
Sith Starkiller.
Dirge.
Wow, Dirge! I haven't seen a Dirge in a minute.
Yeah.
I remember chasing that figure in the stores, trying to find Dirge and Dirge on bike.
Do we have a Revan?
And then Crate.
Oh, crazy.
Looks like Mortal Kombat.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you do a poll, or is that going on now? Where
I thought I had the polls. Didn't I have the polls? I thought I had the polls lined up. Let me take a quick
This is
look.
quite the lineup, though, huh?
Yeah, that's crazy. That's a lot of pieces.
Oh, I thought I had the poll. Maybe I thought I had the polls lined up. The dark side, it was Darth Bane that won the dark side poll.
Yeah.
That's the one. That's my favorite one of all time. Darth Bane.
And then the light side was, I'm trying to remember. Maybe he can tell us in the chat. And then Scion.
Oh, geez.
Who I've never even heard of.
Like, is he the Lord of Pain? Like he's in pain?
Looks like it.
I mean,
Yeah.
Bo-Katan.
A little bit of moisturizer
Bo-Katan?
would be great.
Okay.
Would go a long way here.
Who's the other one?
Bo-Katan, that's right.
Bo-Katan, that's a good one.
Yeah,
Sweet.
this man needs Neosporin is what he needs. That's
I don't
beyond.
I don't remember what the name of the company is. I think it's their first project. I haven't posted about it, which I need to. They got in touch with me that they're doing a Bo-Katan, and they have renders for it.
Cool.
But because it's their first project, I was going to post it with a caveat that they haven't. I'm pretty sure they haven't produced a statue, so it's just a render and a project at this point.
Okay.
That's perfect.
Okay.
Okay.
Now for a change of pace. So Corbanth announced that they're doing Macquarie concept
Interesting.
sabers here.
Awesome.
Jason, are you able to talk about these?
Yeah.
At all?
I
Go for
didn't
it.
know about these, but it looks like a stormtrooper. Hilts, the second one, the red, the black, etc. The second one looks most accurate. I'm wondering if they're just offering the other colors for like the fun of it, right? Just to give people a little bit of style and aesthetic. But it doesn't look too bad. I mean, there's quite a few renditions of drawings and sketches and studies from the Macquarie Hilts and sabers. The Luke and Vader ones have a very specific look, but this is definitely a stormtrooper one. But I like it. I dig this.
How close to the Macquarie concept does that look like to you, the stormtrooper?
It's about 80%. I mean, the problem is you can only see so much of it, right? And the painting and drawing. So,
right. Do you remember like you and I looking at the painting and comparing it to the other
the rounded versus the hexagonal.
Luke versus Vader, trying to figure out, okay, is that a shadow or is that hexagonal or is it round? We couldn't quite tell. I mean, a lot of this is up to interpretation.
I actually have a good image. Let me see if I can pull it up for you real quick.
Oh, of the storm?
It might have a stormtrooper one in it, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, are you talking about the RPF run?
No, this is like an old image. I'm gonna see if I have it on my phone somewhere. But yeah, these are actually pretty cool. These aren't that bad. What's the price on these?
I don't think he's announced. Oh wait,
is it just the hilt, or is it also with like the beam as well?
Oh, you mean like is it installed? I'm sure they're installable.
Because like NeoPixels or something like that.
It looks empty. You have to buy the board and your blade.
Oh, it's like a NeoPixel type thing.
So it says it was pre-order on May the 4th. Okay. So let's see if Corbanth has a site. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, they do. They've got installed and they've got empty.
Empty. Okay.
Here's the
$200. Nice.
Well, this doesn't look quite the same. Oh, here they are. Yep, $200. It's not terrible. I mean, some of these colors are just
gimmicky, but
obnoxious.
You get the C3PO, you get the R2D2.
Yeah. Maul. Yeah.
Yeah.
The only one I would be interested in is something that looks. Oh, here we go. Here's some of the art. I would be interested in something that approximates this.
Well, this is a more modern 3D render of what the original art looks like.
This is a render of the art?
Yeah, this is a more modern version of the art.
Why would they do that? Why wouldn't they just show the original? That's weird.
That's probably a byproduct of them doing the render in the first place.
Yeah.
I mean, already it looks different than the render because the tail end here tapers, and this doesn't have a taper on it.
It's flat.
Yeah, that's okay.
We
Well,
can't
I'm
see-
sure I can find Macquarie Stormtrooper pretty quickly.
Careful, Steve. Be careful.
Well, I'm not doing sexy Macquarie Stormtrooper.
Sexy Macquarie Stormtrooper.
All right.
There it is.
Well, okay.
It's the
Notice the
original
hand.
drawing.
It's interesting.
You
The
can
hand
see it.
is turned completely the other way, so you can't quite see the saber there.
Of course.
They have any other rendering? Any other artwork, Macquarie?
Take that. What the hell?
There's other artwork. I just don't know how accessible it is online, but there's definitely some in the books. I have a whole bunch of random images.
Okay.
Sometimes you can go to like the little like the General Giant busts and the.
Oh no, we don't.
Oh!
No! No! I didn't mean to show that yet.
No, I meant like the Stormtrooper ones, because sometimes like they'll utilize the artwork or get access to stuff to make
Jason,
proper weapons.
I kind of let the dumpster fire out a little bit too early there.
I missed it, so I'm good.
Good.
So the picture I sent, Steve, doesn't have the Stormtrooper
Holy
hilt,
shit.
but it does have.
Oh my gosh.
How did you send the picture?
Into the group therapy chat. It's missing the Stormtrooper one though. I didn't even realize it.
It's always better for me to minimize my screen when I go into chats because shit pops up.
Yeah, it does. Oh, shit.
You guys know what I mean, right? It's ridiculous. And yeah, we don't want people to see all the shit we've been saying about Rob. So
Yeah, well, it's all right.
I put a link in there too that I thought was interesting that just popped up.
Okay.
I don't know what we could talk about it like later.
Steve, you searching? What are you searching for, Steve?
I'm not searching for anything. I'm pulling up what Jason just sent me.
Oh, I don't even know what this is. Like, what am I looking
So
at?
you
here?
don't want me to show that link, Jason?
I mean, you can if you want. It's off topic of the sabers, but it's just weird.
Okay. So I'll pull up. Let me pull up the picture first.
Oh, the Macquarie one.
Yep. Well, that looks.
Yeah,
just
that doesn't
wonderful.
look anything like the sabers.
What the hell?
It's a little blurry. My eyes are
a little blurry.
I didn't think we were at the dumpster fire section yet.
Not yet.
I think if I squint really hard and do it at the back of my room, I might be able to see.
No wonder they had a tough time making that saber.
3 pixels. All right. Let's do this.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, there it is.
So this gives a few. So this I think what I think is interesting about this particularly, right? Because we did a show one time on the models where like everybody assumes that Macquarie painted the images first, and then the team went to work and made things based off of his artwork. Whereas the opposite, he had the study in front of him, the subject in front of him, and did the painting of the drawing. So if you look here, you can actually see the Graphics for the Luke, where it just has his sort of spin on it. The Obi-Wan and the Vader have a closer sort of look and feel to the Stormtrooper. There is some additional artwork. I have the Stormtrooper one, so it's about 80% from from what you can see. But going back to like the rounded versus the hexagonal, these are some of the earlier references of drawings that Corey had, based off of what Roger Christensen was saying. Hey, we might use this, or we might use that.
I love this Obi-Wan design, man.
The Obi-Wan one,
it's very cool looking.
Pretty amazing, yeah. That would be a nice custom run to do a run of sabers like that.
Yeah,
it's all machined. Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. Ooh,
It wouldn't even be that difficult.
No,
Probably not.
That
Just
would
need to
be really
see
cool.
lathe.
just need a lathe. Yeah.
Yeah, you just
Yeah,
need a
pretty
machine
much.
shop.
Pretty much.
Nothing small. Just
Just
your
a
average
lathe.
just
Just a lathe.
$20,000, 25,000.
Yeah.
No big deal.
We got this.
Everybody's got a machine shop these days.
Yeah,
I gotta
find
make
me a
it
lathe.
one.
Someone gets us a lathe, we'll make it.
All right, and then Jason wanted to share. Let me just go off screen real quick. Another link. So a slightly different topic here.
Very off topic.
Slightly.
It wasn't
different.
intentional either. It just popped up. Somebody sent it to me, and I was just like, I don't know anything about it.
What is this?
This
thing
is the
doing?
same picture.
Thanks. I appreciate the assistance. Smart ass. Oh my god. Present. Stop screen. Present. Share screen. Window. That screen. There we go. Edit. Show
Oh,
it.
it's coming.
Okay.
All right.
So what am I looking at here?
It's a auction, Eubanks auction of a Bausch helmet.
What is it? Is it actually full size like Bausch helmet? What is it?
But this is what I don't like. Read it and look how misleading the wording is.
Yeah, Bausch Bounty Hunter replica helmet by Golden Armor, as worn by Carrie Fisher in return. That's bullshit.
Tell me how that is. Tell me that is.
Yeah, the replica wasn't worn by her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's misleading.
That's a really interesting play on words, huh?
Yeah, it's weird.
Ouch.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's just like a big blob.
I was about to say, what is that?
A little stubby. A little stubby.
Yeah. It's after you stub your toe at 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like someone punched
Rob,
her in the face.
Rob, I think you should just quit now because.
Yeah, Rob,
Really.
you ain't got nothing on it. Even the rangefinder's like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Holy
God,
shit.
Recalculating.
That's pretty bad, dude.
Yeah, but this was probably cutting edge when it first came out.
Could have
Yeah,
been.
it probably
Oh, you
was.
think this is like really old?
Oh yeah, I'm sure this is 20, 25 years old.
Okay.
Steve, this is like someone selling the first hot toy. When we look at the first hot toy, we're
Yeah.
like, holy shit,
Oh,
that
yeah.
thing looks
Oh,
like
yeah.
a freaking burning
I like the
doll.
way the stout is just kind of fitted to the outside of the helmet.
Yeah, it's interesting how the leather and then the snout's like slapped over it. Yeah.
Wow.
How you work with what you got? But I was like, as worn by Carrie Fisher.
Yeah.
But is it now? Should I spend the 350 pounds? Says Carrie Fisher wore it. Maybe. Is there a chance? Maybe.
Yeah. Okay.
An answer standby.
It's interesting how things evolve, though, isn't it? I like that's what I like.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
And it's the same. I think the models is really going through this at the moment because the models has really been a closed world. You either need to be scratch building stuff or you ain't gonna have it.
Oh, you gotta know the high C handshake where you gotta like.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. So now's the favorite time of the night.
Holy shit.
All right.
He looks a little sleepy.
Here we go.
Oh, meth binge Anakin.
This is
Come on, man.
Anakin
Just another,
Skywalker.
just another hitman, please. I just need one more.
Yeah,
This
just give me
is
another one.
Anakin has influenza.
He's like,
in this,
hey,
in
Obi,
this post.
Obi, come here. Obi,
Put on
come here.
batteries.
Come here.
I got that COVID, man. I need
Please, Obi,
Dude,
please.
this pink eye is really bad, man.
Oh god.
Hey, buddy, listen. I'll do anything. Please.
Dude, this should be a meme, and at the bottom it should say, "How much of that did you take?"
Don't walk behind the banta.
Seriously.
It's so bad.
Oh my god.
Actually, you know what? It looks pretty good from this angle, don't you think?
That's the easiest part right there.
Yeah.
Gravity. The
Amazing.
gravity thing in the 3D modeling program.
Yeah.
That did that one automatically.
Yeah.
Cloth modifier.
Cloth modifier. Yeah.
Oh god.
Obi, I'll use both hands. Come here, Obi, please. I'll do anything. I'll do anything. Holy shit.
Dude, it looks like somebody maced him.
Yeah, it's bad.
What do you think?
This, it breaks my heart to laugh
this
at
is,
these.
but see, this is what's weird about Gentle Giant. If this wasn't Anakin, and this was just like
a dude,
like RB Skywalker, like some like Arnikin Skywalker, you know, some like random like character, like you didn't know who it was. It's not like it's bad. It's not like the face is like. It's just not Anakin Skywalker. It just that's the problem. Is you know what it's supposed to be.
Yeah. Well, the next one is going to be just flat out bad.
Arnie Skywalker.
Right.
So this is, you think this is bad? All right. Now, unfortunately, everybody's seen it already because it got out. Somebody posted it to Rogue One 6 Facebook the other day. I was kind of bummed, but here we go.
Oh my god!
Han Solo, bro.
Man.
This guy just got stung by a bee. He needs to go to the hospital.
Hey man, I had you bet some shellfish.
Holy shit!
Why is his face a different scale in his head?
Exactly. He's a quarter scale. He's got a quarter scale face and a 1/10 body.
Rob, that's just a telelens. That's it.
Oh my gosh, the side's worse.
He's like, man, he's like those donuts that the Ewoks make. I can't get enough of them.
So I don't understand. Like, who's
the belt looks okay.
Who's
the camera adds 10 pounds? It's okay. You know?
Like, who's approving these statues? Like, who's sitting this
Yeah,
on their
whoever's
desk
sitting
and being
at the
like,
table
yeah,
saying,
that's Han
"Thumbs
Solo.
up."
Who's buying these? Come on. Look at this.
Oh, that's so bad.
All right.
It looks like, is it Jeff Bridges?
It looks like Jeff
Looks like
Bridges
Dan
and Kurt
Aykroyd.
Russell. Looks like Kurt Russell too.
So do you guys remember the show Columbo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So this
I see
is
that.
I gotta show you something, guys, because when I saw this, I thought immediately of Columbo. And so I put this up. What do you think, guys?
Not bad.
I
He's
mean,
still fatter than him, though.
It is definitely fatter. But this is who I thought of. Look at the nose. I mean, the nose and the eyebrows, and just.
Yeah.
I mean, the
Not
hair is a
super
little bit
far off.
different. The hair
Even
is a
the
little
coat.
bit different.
Even with the
Especially the
Endor
coat.
yeah.
I thought of Columbo right away when this came out. It's just so freaking bad.
Dylan sees Mel Gibson.
I can see
Mel
Gibson.
Gibson.
Too. Like,
Yeah.
You can see anybody
Oh.
but Han Solo.
Yeah.
Basically, anybody else.
It's
They're all
generic leading man.
Gibson. That's great. All right, let me.
But
share
it would
that
be
screen
like
here.
Mel Gibson. Like, we're not talking about like Braveheart Mel Gibson. We're talking about like Mel Gibson, like
Dad
Mad
Mel
Max.
Gibson.
Dad bod
Signs.
Mel Gibson. Yeah, like
Yeah.
freaking.
The signs, Mel Gibson.
Wow, that's really bad. I mean, that's
Dude.
that's
That
And that's gonna
sticks
cost-
Anakin was rough.
that's gonna cost what? How much is that gonna cost?
$200 maybe.
What?
Freaking unbelievable, dude.
All right. The question is, Matt. This is my question for you. Does this Han Solo take the number
Nope.
one spot away from Count Dooku?
No.
Nope.
No.
Count Dooku
No.
is a absolute
No.
shit show. Of
Have
of a
Ethan-
series.
have Ethan
did
and
you
Justin
guys see
seen
the
Count Dooku?
Count Dooku?
I don't think
No,
so.
I don't
No,
think
show
so.
it to him. Show it to him.
okay. All
and
right.
and let the nightmares begin. It's freaking unbelievable.
And this is another gentle giant.
Yes.
Oh
character.
man, yes.
Yes. Everything.
Although-
Everything that we talk about is Gentle Giant. They just.
Matt. Although having said that,
Oh.
this Han Solo would display really nice next to Dooku.
It would actually. Yeah, you're right.
He would make him look amazing.
I've been wanting to buy the Count
Come
Dooku
on.
because it's so bad.
Come on, guys.
Just for fun.
Matt, somebody had one for sale in the boards the other day.
I would.
Just
I.
This-
It's literally burning money, but it'd be awesome to have it next.
What do you
like,
guys
all this
think?
stuff. Put it up.
I can't see it.
Oh,
Put it
you
up.
can't see? Son of a bitch.
You learn how to work StreamYard?
Put it up.
Touche. And this isn't like this is a final release product. Keep that in mind.
Oh my god! What?
So if you go and buy this, that's what you get out of the box.
So good, dude.
I still see South Park like the painted on wrinkles.
Yeah.
Did somebody in high school do this for a project? And
Exactly.
Then they were like, I'll buy that.
Paper mache Dooku, dude. It looks like he's been left under a heat lamp and he's just slowly melting. Like it's so good, dude. It's so good.
God,
that red on his face is painted on too.
Is it?
Yeah, it's not like it's a fake. The
Oh
fake
my
glow lightsaber. It's just like a scar on his face.
Just burned.
So I have to
Hold
say,
it too close.
I saw this in person when I was in Paris in a shop, and it was not even half as bad as this photo.
No,
I think the photographer has some sort of ugly filter on his camera because
maybe they improved him.
I saw it in London. It looked like dog shit in person. So maybe my vision's better. I don't know.
Maybe there's some good ones and bad ones out there.
It's like someone described what he looked like to a high schooler, and then a high schooler drew it, and they'd be like, "There you go."
Guys, what you don't understand is I wish there's a way to show you more details, like the fingernails. Like if you zoom in on his fingernails, it's incredible.
Yeah.
Like the whole piece is like a kaleidoscope of like dog shit that you can see different parts and just take it in and let it just. Oh, it's so good, dude. Oh, it's such a beautiful piece. Look at this thing.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, they'll get closer. It's so fantastic. And every side is just a new
some sausages.
Plate of just shit. It's so good, dude. Look
I
at
don't
his
even
nails.
know how to physically sculpt that beard in that way and make it that bad. Like
it's so
you,
good, dude.
You can't draw lines that way. Wow. It's like you stabbed it.
It's the perfect.
Yeah, it looks like it's just like
they look more like toes and fingers.
Yeah.
All right.
Honestly,
So
it's the perfect Christmas gift, but it's too expensive. Like I would love to send this to Rob, but it's too expensive.
This is what it looks like in person.
I mean, come on, Steve.
Steve, it doesn't look that much better.
It looks
Steve,
so.
Look how much worse his eyes look. Look at his eyes.
They're even more dead.
Dude, he's looking in. His eyes are in two different places on his head. What are you talking about, Steve? That looks worse than the picture.
All right, you're right. You're right. It does look pretty.
Yeah, you're starting to do a little bit of that.
Dude, you know what this looks like? It looks like one of those like dolls that like they have for like Catholic dolls that like, you know what I'm talking about?
Dolls.
Like,
no,
yeah, those like religious like dolls they have in other countries where they actually make them like out of. Oh, dude,
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
This is fantastic. Look at that! Look at his nails.
So bad.
Wow, what?
Oh, it's so good, dude.
I can smell those from here. I can smell them through
Brody.
It's so good.
Wow.
What sucks is I don't know. I don't know if his name off the top of my head, but I'm Facebook friends with a guy who does a lot of sculpting for Gentle Giant, and
Yeah, I
his
think Jason is too.
really, really good. But then he'll post the renders and like it before it's painted, and then I'll see it painted, and I'm like, "What the fuck happened?"
Yeah, exactly. It's not
Like,
the artist. It's not the designer's fault that this thing turns to complete shit when it's out. Like,
no, they deliver a great product. It just gets chopped up at the factory.
Yeah, you can see
Right,
really
right,
bad
right.
production methods here, like really bad production methods.
Too many hands were on it.
Totally.
Or not enough.
Or not enough. Or not enough.
Seriously, dude. Holy
No one put their hand in the pot and was like, "Stop."
It's so true. It's
All
unbelievable.
right. So you still think? Okay. So you don't think that?
It does look like they tried to make this out of ceramic, but they didn't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
wow.
Yeah, maybe they
So-
were messing with a style and were like, we want to make it sculptural.
yeah. We want to make
let's do this.
It's artistic.
Come on. So Dooku remains on top,
Dude,
huh?
hey, Steve, listen.
Oh,
listen.
yeah.
Don't be fattest
This is
because
pretty
like
bad.
they might be going for this, like, you know, they want everyone to feel welcome. And so
Well,
they're making him fat.
That's fair. I'm arguing that this should be the
$89.99, Rob. There you go, brother.
$89.99.
That's high, Rob.
Dude, you
That's
need to
worth
find
it,
out
Rob.
in the studio.
Wait,
2 sold.
2 sold. Look how many's
6
available.
6.
Rob, it's
6.
worth it.
I'm gonna check in a minute. It's gonna say 3 sold.
Rob, just
It's worth it.
Next RS video.
Secret Santa again.
You know what? It's a matter of time before it's like buy one get 10 free. Like they just can't get rid of these things. Like, come on.
Well, Steve, can you just search on the website for Indiana Jones? I don't know if it's on the website yet.
Is this a better one, Cece?
I thought so.
oh my god!
Oh
who the hell-
shit!
Wait, what was that?
Oh my
Hold
gosh,
on.
what was that? Go
That's
back.
what I'm talking about. The half scale bus. Just scroll down.
Holy shit!
That sculpt
That-
looked really good, and then they painted it.
Who is
Oh my
that?
gosh, that looks horrendous.
That's rough.
Who is it?
What?
Barnaby Jones, his cousin Barnaby that came on the trip with him. I invited
It's
my
his stunt
cousin.
double.
He's a little slow. His name's
They're
Barnaby.
trying to save money on the
This is
license.
Cliff.
Exactly. He can't use a whip.
Okay,
He's gonna dress
so
like me.
in real life, this guy is the same as that
It's
guy.
the same guy.
Okay, just so you know, these
With
are the
the
same
beard.
person in real
With
life.
the beard. With the beard.
What's
what
that
does it
one?
say?
You
Did
bought
you
it?
get it? Did you
Oh,
get it?
he got it.
He finally got it.
Oh man.
Rob,
On game
congratulations.
1.
No, you ordered it.
Congratulations, Rob.
Thank you.
What an amazing piece.
Wow.
This
Dude, I
goes
need-
down
I
in
need to-
history.
I
We
need to
just
get
broke
one.
the internet.
Dude, look at his eyes. Look,
Dude,
he's cross-eyed. He's cross-eyed.
Yeah,
he's got a
he's
lazy
got-
eye. He's got a lazy eye. Go. Can you get closer?
No, know what he was doing? He was wearing a short trooper
They won't
helmet.
let me get
Look
any
at those
closer to
eyes.
that. That's
Holy
as close
shit!
as I
He's
can get.
they actually gave him a lazy eye. Dude, that's crazy.
I think when
Uh,
his skin is very flat. I think that's what.
Well,
it
yeah,
is.
it's a single color for sure. I mean that single
Yeah.
color, hand painted eyes with the wrong colors.
Yeah,
The
there's no
lips.
blue or
They
red.
did. The sculptor did a good job with the mouth. I think there's something with the cheeks.
Where's he
He's a little
looking?
fat.
Where's he looking? Where's he looking?
Like
Look
this.
at- who's he
Yeah, it looks like
looking
he just got doused in makeup. Just really thick foundation. Just like yeah.
at? Yeah.
TV
No,
ready.
when they were
There you
doing the study for him, they had him go like this.
Yeah. Holy shit, guys.
This is like a $20 factory paint job.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
What does this cost? What is this? This is this
you ready? You ready?
Yeah.
Per
Yeah.
Half scale. Half scale.
upscale.
$200.
Oh, 200 for half scale.
Yeah.
Get what
I
you
mean,
pay
that's
for.
isn't that the
That's
same?
pretty big.
Yeah,
isn't that
half
the
scale
s-
is gonna be yeah.
It's pretty big.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
Limited to 2 per account.
God,
Yeah,
damn.
that's tough, man. That's too bad.
I was hoping to get 6 of them.
1 for yourself and 1 for your best friend.
Riding in the passenger seat so you can go to
One
the
for the
carpool.
person you don't love in your life.
Honestly,
Dude,
though, for 200
what-
bucks, that's what you get.
I wonder if
One,
someone
one
could
to
get
unbox
this.
and 1 to keep in the packaging.
I wonder if someone could get this and actually repaint it to look. You know how some people get like things that are really shitty and they just repaint them. and
I
make
see
them
that
look
all the
good?
time.
Probably
Before and
does,
after. I bet you they could.
I think
Because
you
it-
should.
Oh
I-
yeah, it's not perfect, but it's actually like with a paint job.
Yeah, yeah,
I
right.
think we could bring it to
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
Totally forget it.
Steve's trying to get into painting. I think we should all buy this for Steve and get him to
Yeah.
repaint it and let's see what it looks
Okay.
like on the show in a few
So-
weeks.
So
Dude, it
you
would
know
look
how
way
I'm
worse
afraid
than
to paint shit because I think I'm going to do a terrible job.
Yeah.
I think I could do better than this. So
You really
I think
do?
I
I'll give
think
it
you
a
should
try.
try. I think you should try.
I
No.
think you can do better than this.
No.
This-
Hey, hey,
This
hey,
is
we
a
could
coloring
buy,
book
We
paint
could buy
job. It's
2.
just-
We could buy 2, and you could do it before and after on the show.
Yeah, there you go.
Steve, you can do a whole line of commissions. You could just be painting half scale Indiana Jones busts for the next 6 months.
Yeah.
If I painted this statue, okay, this is what it would come out looking like. All right? this is that's what mine would look like.
Dude.
Okay? So
This guy, what a legend this guy is. He said, "I can do better.
I got you.
Anything you can do, I can do better.
you know
I
what's
can do
sad?
anything better
There's a
than you."
woman, and I just picture the one
No, you
from
can't.
Family Guy,
Yes, I
the
can.
maid.
Oh,
You know-
Consuela.
Holy
Okay,
shit!
I just want to say,
Oh.
if you type Jesus painting into your search engine, this is the first result. Can you imagine Jesus painting? This is the first result that you get.
You get a munchie instead.
Holy shit!
Oh my gosh, this is somebody that was. This is the same painting. Read the thing.
Yeah.
This poor lady tried to restore it.
You didn't hear about this?
Oh, this was all over the internet. Like, when was this? Like 10 years ago? Longer than that?
Yeah, somebody tried to like fix it.
Yeah,
I live in a hole. Sorry.
Yeah. This was,
and it came out with Beegis.
The worst is somebody's like, I got this. Don't worry, I got this. I can do it.
Yeah. Oh my.
Take my little Q-tip. Q-tip and water, and this is what happens.
He probably did one. He's like, "Oops, that's fine. I can fix this."
Jeebus looks happier restored though.
Jeebus Christ.
I tell you, Rob, I bet you the tourism to this chapel or church probably tripled once this was done, right?
Steve,
People
do we
wanna
have
see
the image that you spent all day?
Oh God, I'd have to find that. Whoa. Okay, so that was
Steve went way too far with this.
That was the
one.
Dooku busting through the door. That was the Dooku. Yeah. So guys, we took let's see. I don't know if I still have it. But this was Shining break door. Let's see.
Can we screen grab it from the show?
Holy shit, it was fantastic.
All right. So these guys were if I could find it I would, but what we did was we took this photo and we took the Dooku head and we stuck the Dooku head through the crack here.
We had her like she was screaming.
Okay. Ah! So at the time, Gentle Giant was having a photo contest, and I came this close to submitting the photo.
You should have. That would have been great.
Jason started talking like sense to me. Like somebody made this, Steve. Somebody worked really hard on this, and he talked me out of submitting it. It would have been
but you know what the crazy part was? Like Steve was working on this while we were off the show. Like we were done with the show, and Steve was still like,
he called out of work and he like that.
He's crazy, man. He really went for it.
All right.
So my worst one is the sideshow Heath Ledger Joker.
Oh,
I mean, Dooku is pretty bad, but I don't know. Sideshow Heath Ledger Joker is also really.
Is that what? Is that
the one when he's sitting in front of the jail? Mm-hmm. Oh, really?
I would love to compare the two of those because I'm pretty sure it's.
Yeah, you showed me this one. I was just
wow.
Real bad.
That's a recent one, isn't it?
No, it's been out for a while.
Oh, has it?
So this one? Which one is it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I think it might be that one.
That's pretty bad.
Oh.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Yeah.
That is their quintessential Joker.
Yeah.
He's so shiny.
I mean, look, that doesn't give me nightmares like the Dooku does.
That's true.
But it's Heath Ledger. Like you shouldn't F up Heath Ledger's face, right? Like that's.
In comparison, Dooku is still worse, but that's the worst one that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I think.
I don't have that. I don't have that anymore, guys. I don't think, unless I posted it to a chat or something at one point.
R.I.P. dude.
Yeah,
R.I.P.
I think so.
I think it's,
so. Rob, on the next RS update, are we gonna see that Dooku sitting loud and proud by you guys on the table?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I've got space for him. Just
you do.
There you go.
Yes, you do. Gosh, what a legend, Rob. Freaking pulled the trigger on that shit.
Worth every penny.
I really want to see a Steve repaint on that Indiana Jones.
The Indiana Jones is really bad. Like, holy shit.
Oh yeah, I did have two more things here for us.
This is so
just a couple of spotlights here that I saw come up in the last couple of days. Actually, so this was posted by Andy Kwan. He was in a Tokyo shop, and he saw like all these models.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Crazy!
So these are, I'm guessing, a Bandai kits or something.
Bandai doesn't have a
That's
walker
a
that
pretty big.
size.
Yeah,
the walker doesn't look like a Bandai, but the rest.
Can we get better resolution, please? we go.
There we go.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Some of these are so good. Just to have a shop like this nearby that just
Yeah.
Look
There's some awesome shops in Akihabara I want to go to.
Yeah, that looks pretty decent.
That's pretty sick, dude.
And watch the box. It'll actually have sparks coming out of it in a second. Yeah, there we go.
Oh,
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, that's cool.
That's cool.
So are these Bandai or not? Are these something different?
These ones are, yeah.
Oh, these ones are? Okay.
Because the book that they just showed wrapped is all Bandai pieces like completed and yeah.
They still look really good, man.
They look
I
great.
love the bases on these, the Star Destroyer bases, right?
Cool.
That's cool.
Those bases always drove me crazy. You like that, Steve?
Yeah, definitely. Because it's within context and it's the scale. This is my favorite out of all of them. I absolutely guys, please. This is amazing.
The Rebel. My little brother wants me to do one so bad, and
I'm with your brother.
I would love to convince him to make it because he's a 3D modeler. So if he wants to make it, so we could release it. The problem with the big ships is that it's like a year-long project. We can't release anything else from that human because of the amount of work it takes to do it. Like, can you imagine cutting panel lines for 8 months? But for a 30-inch, like
Steve can imagine it. Steve can imagine you doing it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we do plan on doing a Star Destroyer eventually. I mean, it's on our books for a couple of years.
Yeah, but I
definitely want to do one of those as well because those are so cool.
Yeah. Hopefully, we can get some more artists on board so we can focus on some of the really like intricate projects and just have somebody working on that for like until it's done.
Oh yeah. Like this is your job for the next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of these are really cool.
Yeah, this is I like the pose.
Maybe that's the AMT or something.
It could be, yeah, because it doesn't look as big as ours. It's a little smaller. It's like a little 160,
like in between
172.
It's really cool.
Yeah, those lights are really, really small.
If we do a Star Destroyer, is A New Hope pretty much the only one that you guys would be interested in? Because there's a 92 centimeter one that was in one shot of New Hope, but then in some of Empire, and that would actually be like to scale with like a display size versus trying to rescale it. Mm-hmm. But I did wonder that, like, which one does people think is like the one?
I'd have to see them.
Yeah.
I don't know off the top of my memory which one to switch. So that was really cool. And then we got something from Dill here I wanted to show. So Dill got his sabers, the Kenobi and the Qui-Gon and the Maul. And I didn't realize that Dill was hiding all that art, that ink underneath his sleeves that night.
No, he's a tattoo artist.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Nice.
These are so great, in the set. It's just a terrific set. Such high quality.
Yeah, they made the fourth deal was amazing. It was at 44% off.
Yeah, I wish I know. Yeah, I wish I
should have jumped on that.
That's what told me about.
Yeah,
I found out too late.
So cool. Oh, and I see he's got the Amethyst Nest in the background. Very cool.
I just noticed he has like the Tauntaun maquettes, and I just actually got mine in the little heads.
Oh, okay.
To the Snowtrooper maquette. I might have to ask how those look if they're like on the same plane because I've seen a lot of people put risers to display them.
And that is all she wrote. All right.
Cool show.
Yeah.
You guys enjoy that?
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of cool stuff out there, and a lot of not so cool stuff. Rob, what are you going to do with that thing? Is that going to be like centerpiece in your videos, or what are you going to do with that lovely thing?
I don't know yet.
Hmm.
I'll unbox it next time. 2 weeks.
Could you imagine like doing a unboxing video on your channel? That would be.
Get Clarky to do B-roll.
Yeah.
Talking
man.
about how amazing it is.
Oh, please
Should we
do
do
it with a.
Should we do the full? Do you want to do the full thing?
The full thing with a straight face. You've got to talk about
do
how
the full
wonderful it
thing.
is. Just like, but be so sincere and just this is the detail on these fingernails. I mean,
I
look
love
at
Christopher Lee.
Look at the wrinkles and the dirt that's accumulated there. It's perfect.
He's been on Mustafar.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, let's see. I think that's about it for us, guys. That was a fun show. Really appreciate Ethan and Justin staying on. It was fun getting a different perspective on some of these things. So that was a lot of fun, and it was great to share the Gentle Giant with
fantastic.
with people who hadn't seen them before. That was really
that made my day.
Those were a treat. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the shock and awe where people are like, is that real?
Yeah. Right. All right. So guys, I'm gonna sign us off now, but hang on. And thanks everybody for joining us, and we will see you in 2 weeks.